Did you see the new Ye interview? I saw bits and pieces. I didn't see much of it. I've only seen a little bit. I watched the entire InfoWars one, but I have not seen his newest. Not in its entirety. Thanks to resub Iman and Schwazel and Dextaru. Oh no, I'm not good at skating at all. Thanks to resub Undead and Levi. You see the new Halo update 343 might have gone up in your tier list. I heard they added the custom game browser finally. That is a step in the right direction. Not only that, but desync fixes and mouse and keyboard improvement. That's kind of wacky. It's like they finally remembered they have Halo under their belt. Now they're actually doing something with it that's huge. Here's the resub Finn. And the Prime Marone. Any drama tonight? I don't think so. Nothing super wacky. Just the Genshin Sonic stuff, which isn't like super crazy. It's just kind of petty. And then we just talked about the Hassan thing. There's not a whole lot to dive in there, but still a pretty silly situation, I suppose. You gonna be playing the new Elden Ring DLC tomorrow? Well, there's no such thing as that. Thanks, resub fart. There is, though? Wait, what? Coliseum PvP DLC. Was it Coliseum? Oh, it is Coliseum. 3 new maps and an insane new PvP mode. This is news to me. So is it just a PvP arena then? Like a spot for PvP? Or did they like overhaul some of the PvP mechanics? Not that I think they needed to. I think the PvP was fun. Yeah, it's just the locked Coliseums are opened. That's pretty interesting. So what, they added 3 new zones and then that PvP Coliseum? I'm about it. I probably won't play it tomorrow, but we'll see. Maybe. If I'm not doing anything else. Thanks to Prime Dank and the resub Psycho Ray. Mystically and Haley. Oh, it's just 3 arenas. Oh, I thought it was 3 new zones plus the arena. Oh, gotcha. Thanks to resub Joey, Gamezilla, and the Bits Kinway. Your manager got fired for a crazy rant and it made the news. Oh, Jesus. Thank you for the 20 gift subs, Slasher. Good to see you. I hope you've had a good week so far. Thank you for the generosity, man. If your dog died, prove it to us. Olive Garden manager fired after time off rant. Okay. I'm assuming this. Yep, this matches. Manager at Olive Garden was fired after a harsh message was sent to employees about taking time off. We are no longer taking any excuse for calling off. If you're sick, you need to come prove it to us. If your dog died, you need to bring him in and prove it to us. If it's a family emergency, too bad. Go work somewhere else. Jesus Christ, it's an Olive Garden. What kind of ship does he think he's running? What the fuck? The message also said anyone who calls in more than once in 30 days, it will be sent out. Oh, anyone who calls in more than once in 30 days since it was sent out will no longer work at the restaurant. The manager describes her own work ethic. Jesus, why can't I read right now? The manager describes her own work ethic in the message, saying she worked when she felt sick and even made it to work after her car was totaled once. Then you have a problem. Like, you need, like, help. It's an Olive Garden. That's not something to be proud of. Also, you definitely shouldn't be working around food when you're feeling sick. Man, this didn't age well. If anyone from here on out calls out more than once in the next 30 days, you will not have a job. And now this manager lost her job. Man, what's she gonna do now? Like, Olive Garden was her whole fucking life, I guess. Do you know in my 11.5 years at Darden... Huh? How many days I called off? Do you guys call it Darden? Like, internally? Isn't that kind of illegal? Well, yeah, it would explain how she lost her job. Of course it's illegal. What the fuck? You're in the restaurant business. Do you think I want to be here until midnight on Friday or Saturday? No. Much rather be at home with my husband and dog going to the movies or seeing family, but I don't. Dedicated to being here, as should you. No more excuses or complaints. I hope you choose to continue to work here, and I think we, management, make it as easy as we can on y'all. What the fuck? What a weirdo. You worked for her? Holy shit, that's awful. There's a resub. Ucito, Yes Limo, Rip, Namsdata, Real Steel, Iron, and Unrelated. Oh, sweet. Thanks for that, Karma. And thanks for the resub, Gummy. And the Bits Project Milk. She just seems like an angry person. She seems completely miserable. Oh, fuck me. Thanks for resub, Caveman. Most restaurant managers are. Maybe. I couldn't tell you. I've never worked in a restaurant. I used to want to, though. He's a resub wizard. He's a resub Lido. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. It just always seemed, I don't know, at least enjoyable, like the socialization aspect of it. But also when I wanted to, you have to keep in mind this was during the time where I was legitimately a fucking weirdo that no one wanted to associate with, so any amount of human contact seemed cool to me at the time. Thanks for resub boxed. Thanks for resub Yule. I'm gonna play the Jesus game. It's just not fully out yet. I'm waiting for it to fully come out. Thanks for the resub, Fluffy, and the tier 1 Devilish. And thanks for the resub, Isaias. Who would I vote for, Sonic or Genshin? What was the category? I can't even remember. It was for player's voice. What does that mean? What is player's voice? Just a popularity contest? Whichever community is more fervent? Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm huge into either community. I enjoyed Sonic Frontiers, but I also like Genshin. Nice, vegan. Well, that worked out. The studio who animated the first season of One Punch Man is going to animate the third, according to leaks. It wasn't so much the studio that made the first season of One Punch Man good. They brought in so many freelancers and made something, like, ridiculous. So even just having that studio, and I think it was Madhouse, I'm not positive, but even just having that studio come back, it's not going to guarantee it's going to have the same level of polish. Map is doing season 3. I just looked it up and apparently that was fake news. That leak wasn't real, but I'd love to be proven wrong. It'd be great if it's Mappa. But I actually just looked that up because someone in chat brought it up. Did you get the Hello Neighbor run yesterday? I did. I actually finished off with a really good run. Thanks for resub, chill. Nice, Carmel. That's huge. Speedrun today? No, we speedran a lot last night. Like 4 hours of runs on a game that kept fucking crashing. So I think I'm good on speedruns for now. Exit Prime, Thallow. You see the new video of Khaled getting a haircut in the middle of the desert? Nope. About to watch it now, though. DJ Khaled getting a haircut in the middle of the desert in Alula. I don't know what the fuck that was. All right. God, dude.
Getting a haircut. God did.
Oh my god, he actually just did it. I didn't even think he'd say it for this one. That was silly for me to think there'd be a video that went by without him saying God did. He's the Prime Metro, and the resub Kizerm, and Manny. Why so many haircuts? His hair grows quick. There was another police chase. Yeah, it was like 3 hours though, and apparently like nothing happened until the end. Chat was keeping me up to date on it last night. Thanks to Tier 1 Kai Dashing. Yeah, backed into a parking lot but got out of it. That's about it. Eh. If that's the only interesting part, of course, across a 3-hour chase, then I'll probably pass on that one. You gonna play Marvel Midnight Suns? I totally forgot that game came out. Maybe. There's a resub Bunny Venom. What's the move tonight? Right now, just shooting the shit, catching up on things in the world, and then probably play something. I haven't fully decided. Thanks, resub Boily. Last night we did a lot of speed runs, so I don't want to do any more runs tonight. Do something else. Thanks to Prime Vake in the resub Inoya. And the Prime Gamer Girl in the resub Glock and give sub Winded. And the Prime Faye. There's the resub Zeeberg. Did you win the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament? I did not. I got second. It came down to the last game, last moment though. It was close. There's a resub Brit. I might moist meter One Piece eventually. We'll see. Thanks to resub Joker and Shambi. Yeah, I know the new Destiny 2 season came out. Thanks, Risa Brock. There's the Prime Mudo. Yeah, I saw a tab uploaded with the anti-piracy stuff. Did I finish Callisto? Mm-hmm. He's a tier 1 butcher. What video editor do you use? Sony Vegas. One of the few. Thanks to the Bits Horizon. Happy birthday. And there's a Ghost Dog and Matthias. There was a stolen RV pursuit in San Fernando. Thanks to Risa mostly. Is that one interesting? Oh, this is old as shit. Damn, that RV's getting blasted though. What happened? Alright, I'll take a quick peek here. This looks like the Cliff Notes.
Micah Share, the investigation continues here in this quiet
Like the resub
residential
cabbie.
neighborhood in Tarzana. Let me step out of the way so you can see the wreckage here. The motorhome, as you can see, stretched across the driveway.
It has racing stripes on it, though. It was made for this.
Authorities say that the motorhome was purchased with a stolen identity. A woman called police and reported that her identity was stolen. And
Yeah,
said
it is
that
some Breaking
motorhome
Bad
was
shit.
purchased with her information. Now, cops spotted that motorhome in Santa Clarita, tried to pull it over, but the driver went on a high-speed pursuit. They chased it through several streets. It crashed.
Can I see some of the highlights? Goddamn. You're hyping it up. Let me take a peek.
And the car, as it was backing out of that driveway, a paramedic look at
Spoilers.
the video that we shot earlier today.
So she gets arrested? Spoilers.
Took off the whole front of the motorhome.
A wild pursuit that started in Santa Clarita when
Good
authorities
Lord.
tried to pull over a stolen motorhome on Towsley Canyon around 7 p.m. The driver was reckless as she weaved in and out of
Holy
traffic,
shit.
hitting cars in her path. Tense moments when a dog with her started peeking out of the shattered window as a motorhome.
Oh, what the
speeded
fuck?
through traffic. Viewers watched on TV.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's fucking terrifying. Okay, no one told me about that dog. Yikes. I thought she would have pulled the dog back in. I'm assuming it was okay, though. The dog was okay. Yeah, it didn't look like she was going super fast when that happened, so that's good at least. Jesus Christ. There's a resub Gore and Glynn and the Prime Duke. Oh, here's a dog sitting next to her at the end. There's a resub Slime and the Prime Grunk and the resub KZA. Thoughts on Chainsaw Man so far? I'm still an episode behind, but it's been amazing so far. Yeah, I already talked about ADP, man. Made a whole video about it. Alright, I think I just heard Tiana go to bed, so give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm gonna say goodnight. He's a good sub Cosmic. The resub. Big and Brick. I have not seen the CoffeeZilla SBF video yet. That probably won't be one I watch on stream, though. That'll be one I just watch for myself. Because I've been keeping up with it so fucking much. I don't know how many people on stream really have. So, this is one I'm going to watch the interview of. I heard CoffeeZilla did a really good job with it. Thanks, resub CMG. You gonna do Hello Neighbor 2 tonight? No, speedrunning last night. For some reason, my game keeps crashing at the end. So I did 10 total full runs, and it crashed 7 out of 10 times. And I still haven't figured out a way to fix it, so till that's fixed, I'm not gonna do any more Hello Neighbor runs. I got one good run that'll put me at like 5th place. So, that's good enough for me. Here's a prime toilet paper. Every fucking game is broken on launch and people just accept it. Yeah. Thanks for your sub, Dingleberry. I think it's getting a little ridiculous now. I was one of those people that would just overlook a bad launch, be like, yeah, it'll be fixed soon, but it's every single game. Every single AAA game that releases right now is completely broken. I don't get it. Like, it's like the most basic things. Like, there's no way they didn't know Callisto Protocol had that many problems on launch for PC. There's just no way they didn't know about it. And they still shipped. Not God of War Ragnarok. True, that was a full W. That shit just worked flawlessly. No problems. Frontiers wasn't that broken. Man, what? I enjoyed Frontiers, but that game, after the first zone, is all pop-ins. You can't even see half of the goddamn... I don't even know what to call them. Obstacles. Playground accessories. Like, you can't even see half of them until you are literally touching it. Don't understand how games are so broken. When I was a kid, they never had problems. Alright, we're getting a little carried away with the rose-tinted glasses. Games had plenty of problems when we were younger, too. But as kids, you just don't care. Take, for example, Pokemon Scarlet Violet. The kids don't give a fuck if that game has 2 FPS half the time. It doesn't matter to kids. But I do agree, the AAA titles, compared to, like, shit, maybe, like, 6-7 years ago, even, they are launching in worse states from like a performance perspective, because now everything's treated as live service. Like, we'll just get this out as quickly as possible to maximize our position in the market. People are going to buy it regardless, and then we'll just fix it over time. That's more the mindset now. Thanks the bits vegan, Ann, and the resub back, and Carson. True, it was a little helpful. You're not wrong there, vegan. I saw you tweeted at me, Winded. I haven't seen it yet, though. Thanks for resub, Rowie. Thanks for resub, Chicken. And Nutcracker. That's why indie graded in AAA every time. Again, we're getting carried away. There are so many indie stinkers. A ton. But yeah, there are a lot of good indie games too. But it's not like they're immune to problems on launch either. Thanks to resub human. That's why it's good to launch in early access. I think the opposite. I think early access was one of the worst trends that's ever happened to gaming because it changed the whole perspective of publishing a game where you can put out a broken mess, call it early access, and still make a ton of money and let the community basically fix it for you over time. And then you just make those tweaks, all the while making money off of just immediately pushing a project out way before it's ready. There's a resub ankle moose, several, and the gift sub fused. How the fuck did you turn into this basic news early access? And you censored the fuck. How old are you? Do you even know what the news is? Basic. I'm covering the real stories. Like EDP talking to kids, potentially. You find me a news station that's talking about that. Basic my ass. Who's talking about his poop pics besides me? The tier 1 Orod, and the resub Cactus, and the Prime Star Platinum. And the resub Big Daddy. You see Portugal today? No, I haven't been keeping up with the World Cup. Thanks, resub Botcoin. Thanks to the resub Vicky in tier 1N. Did you see the news about the biggest French YouTuber being arrested? What? No, I can't say I saw that. What are you talking about? I feel like I probably would have heard of this. Norman Thavad, YouTube star, arrested for sexual assault of minors? What? Holy shit. The 35-year-old internet personality who has almost 12 million subscribers was taken into custody after an investigation was launched by the Paris prosecutor's office. The investigation involves several teenage girls and young women. Adding, oh my god. He was previously accused of sexual wrongdoing involving minors in 2021 Urbania report, alleging that the YouTuber had encouraged the 16-year-old fan to send messages and images of sexual nature when he was 30. Can't say I heard about this. No one's mentioned that. But I guess it's more of a French story, so probably wouldn't have traveled to, like, the NA side. That sounds pretty fucked up. So yeah, he's in custody right now. I don't even know his content. I've never heard of him. Norman Thavad. Yeah, it's a huge channel. Wow. There's a resub Pickled and Noble and 2 in the gift sub Diamond. That's a lot of subs, wow. Yeah, that's what I said, man. There's something like, what is it, 10,000 channels with 10 million plus subs? Or that might... Is it 1,000 channels with 10? No, it's definitely higher than that. It must have been 10,000. It's a super high number. There are so many channels with 10 million plus subs that you have never heard of. So many. Do you like Genshin? I do. I'm not like a power player of Genshin, but I do like it. People forget YouTube is global. Yeah, but even still, like back in the day, you'd still know the other channels like Hola, Soy German. Like you still knew of all of the other huge channels, even if they weren't in A. But now it's just so big. It's so big that you don't know half of them, even like NA based ones. There's a prime bearfish. Thinks the bit's pretty aight. True, that's a good point, aight. He was the biggest at one point, no? Who? Hola Soy German? I don't know if he was the biggest at one point, but he was always in the top 10. Holy shit. Wait, he has an even bigger channel down here. Oh, and he's active on this one. See, I didn't even know that. And this channel has 47 million subs almost. Jesus Christ. Thanks to resub Arcrim. What are the top 10 YouTubers now? Good question. Let's take a peek. Let me pull it up. I think Social Blade has it, right? They have like a top 100. I imagine most of them are going to be like musical artists. Yeah, here it is. Top 100 YouTube channels. Oh, this isn't by subs. This is by grading. How do you do it by subs? Oh. So T-Series absolutely went fucking nuts. YouTube Movies, which is a little weird because I don't know anyone that's ever used YouTube Movies besides me when Redline was free. So that's a little surprising. Coco Melon, not surprising. That's all of the children's nursery rhymes that are basically just fucking fired out. I don't know Set India. I'm assuming it's similar to T-Series where it's re-uploads of Bollywood. Mr. Beast is number 6. That's pretty fucking good. PewDiePie at 7th. Kids Diana Show. What is the Kids Diana Show? And like Nastasia. I don't know either of them. Thanks to Tier 1 Angel and Resub Sullivan. WWE, yep, I knew that. Gaming. Okay, so I think what happens, like why these are here, music, gaming, and YouTube Movies, I think when you make an account, it auto-subs you there, so it has something on your front page. Same with like sports, all that. I think that's why this shit's here. It does? Okay. That makes sense. Vlad and Nikki. Who's Vlad and Nikki? Oh, it's another children's channel. Children channels are so weird on YouTube, man. That's so baffling. Z Music Company. Is this children's content? Oh no, it's more like movie dumps, movie clips. Blackpink, that's K-pop. Blackpink over BTS I wouldn't have expected. I didn't know Blackpink was that big. Like even twice I thought it was bigger. It's gold mines. Yet again, just more movie clips. Jesus. 5 minute crafts. That's that absolutely bafflingly awful channel with the worst possible crafts ever. I'm assuming this is more movie dumps. Yep. Justin Bieber. Here's another Z. There's Z Music and Z TV. Dude Perfect's over here at 27th. That's pretty good. Thanks to the resub Hydro and Matt Mathive. Vlad and Nikki have an HBO show and I scroll past it every time we watch some Sesame Street with my kid. That's crazy how huge they are. And I don't know what that game is, Cuddy. Thanks to the Prime Pop. Marshmallow. Eminem. Wow. Hanging strong. Ed Sheeran. Yeah, here's all like the musical artists. And there's German at 56th. Here's his gaming channel at 46. Alan Walker. Nice. El Rubius. Ellen hanging in there. Yeah, there's only a few YouTuber channels in the top 100. Everything else is movie or music clips. Or like entirely kids content. Like kids toys and shit. What's happening? Oh, I was just going through the top 100 here because I was curious. How many were like YouTube channels, like YouTuber channels? It's like 6. There's Mr. Beast, there's PewDiePie. There's one more somewhere over here. Dude Perfect. And then German and German's gaming channel. I think those are the only ones, right? Or did I miss one? Oh, and Rubius. And Rubius was in here somewhere. Yeah, there's Rubius. Thanks to the bitch butcher. I have heard of it. I haven't seen too much from it though, Butcher. What's Darman at? Probably in the top 500 though. Sad how corporations took over YouTube. It's also just not surprising though. What is surprising though is that the kids corporations were the ones that really like exploded. That I wouldn't have expected. I wouldn't have expected parents to just be totally fine letting their kids just run around YouTube rampant. Like little kids, like Cocomelon nursery rhyme 3-year-olds. That I wouldn't have expected like 10 years ago. There's a prime hash and cardboard box. There's the resub meatloaf. Were you doing YouTube 10 years ago? Yeah, man, I started in 2006. The channel I'm currently on, I started in 2007, though. Thanks for resub, Atlas. How's the WWE 11th? People just don't understand how big the WWE is. The WWE is still huge. It's crazy. I didn't see it. Thanks to the resub guy. WWE literally survived and came back big because of YouTube. I don't think it was ever really in jeopardy of going away. It's been big for as long as I've been alive. Thanks to resub hockey sticks. Do you have a favorite, really obscure 360 game? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. There's a tier 1 Gunwolf. Bullet Witch isn't a good game. Like, I don't really like it that much. I replayed it on stream. It's just not, like, a good game. Oh, quick text message. He's a tier 1 Mattier and tier 1 Mega Gun. Why aren't you chess boxing in Ludwig's tournament? I don't want to get hit. It's just that simple. Like I said, I'd only ever like fight a child. Anyone that's like under 12, I'd fight. No one over 12 though. I don't want to get hit. Thanks to tier 1 James and the resub Ghost. What about over 90? People underestimate old people's strength, man. Sometimes they can pack a wallop. I did play the club. I hated it. Thanks to tier 1 James. I remember the club on the 360. That was that third-person shooter game. Right? Where you like go through the prison. Yep, I'm well aware, Swain. Will there be a Moist Esports website? Yep. There will. Imagine trying to fight. Yeah, I mean, there are just some old people that are still strong. That old people strength, that geriatric magic. The trailer for it went so hard for the club. I don't remember it. Speedruns tonight? Nah, man. We did a lot of speedruns last night. I'm not gonna be doing speedruns tonight. Do something else. You get 99 mining? Mm-hmm. You see the new Dead Island 2 gameplay that dropped today? Mm-mm. Is it the trailer? Oh, it is.
Clear, boss. Clear, boss.
Is this the same thing? Because this one's longer. That looks like the same thing.
Clear, boss.
Welcome to Hell A is the one you want. So this.
Jackson, you got a little...
Yeah, I figured you wanted a souvenir.
Clear the edges, you two.
Thanks a resub, General. Just skip to the live action stuff. Skip past the live action stuff. Ah.
I hate to tell you, but you picked the wrong time to come to town. Bet you thought your world was in chaos, didn't ya? Try this on for size. Bitten, infected, somewhere between alive and dead.
God, are they turning?
Shit doesn't get more real than this. Los Angeles, city of...
Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of the first Dead Island.
LA.
So hopefully they made some
Think of
huge
it
changes.
as your own stylish, sun-baked, zombie-smashing playground. And trust me, these hungry bastards are everywhere. But don't worry, there's more to this city than hours of happy skull-busting. It's crawling with adventure and crazy ways to pass your final days. We've got all the
Exit Prime,
usual
Sethwa,
tourist
and Trash.
attractions, albeit with a uniquely horrifying vibe. There's loads of survivors,
You want to blast on a Trent special?
although
Were you getting the pizza?
they're all as mad as the flesh eaters. How'd you like me now, eh? Wait, shit! Ah!
Yeah.
Seems they like you a lot, Jacob. I'll take it from here. We've all dreamt about smashing zombie brains, right? Whether you're
That was cool.
slicing, kicking, stomping, burning, or whatever it is, you're gonna really feel it. I guess dreams do come true.
Thanks a resub, Buggy. And give
Shit,
sub Brutal.
man. You'd be amazed at what these Angelinos keep in their Hollywood houses. Katanas, machetes, swords, hammers, bigger hammers. Are those bear claws? And naturally, a
This looks a
holy
little
shit
goofy.
ton of guns. If that doesn't do the job, DIY is always your friend.
Kind of reminds me of like Dead Rising
This is too awesome.
with its weapons.
Oh, and that zombie bite came with a little pop of Z power. Which is always handy.
Yeah, could be good. Yeah,
Freaking
might be alright.
sauce. These reanimated fuckers come in.
I just don't get excited for zombie games. I don't think most people do anymore. Dead Island has a lot of goodwill from the first game, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I'm going in here with really mild expectations. Thanks to Tier 1 Swain and the Bits Devilish. And the resub Anavik. Combat's always repetitive in those. Yeah, it really just kind of lives or dies by is there fun weapons? Is there fun weapon combos? Fun ways to kill the zombies? But it always does end up just getting kind of tedious. Read it. Is it Prime Ganja? Alright. I am no longer the CEO of Panda, and I will no longer be a part of the Smash community. I do not wish to return. Community deserves the truth, and I'm not afraid to call out names I have to. The private information of myself and members of Panda have been leaked online. This has gone too far. If there's anyone who is interested in purchasing my shares of Panda, please reach out to the company. Divesting is a complex process that takes time. Okay. So he wants to fully step away from the community after everything here, and he's about to drop the hottest potato the community's ever seen with names as well. I don't know who would really want to buy his shares with the state Panda's currently in, but I guess after the statement, I haven't read it yet. Maybe it's a really strong statement that somehow saves the company, and that might be an appealing offer to someone. We'll see. For a quick summary, the actual truth, here is a message of notes I took during a conversation with a TO on April 14th, 2022. Gimmer and Kin hate you, man. Tell me something for real. This is apparently what stopped him from signing earlier. Kin said that you said you'd kill everyone who doesn't work with you. Is that true? Yeah, so it turns out Kin is spreading shit. Per Kin, I don't like Alan, but if they're really offering all this, then even I'd take it. Per Gimmer, how long have you been working together? 8 years, and you're really going to do this to us? This is like... Why is it written like this? It was to the point that blank even asked blank, how do you really feel about Panda? Do you have any hesitations? To which blank said he has none, blank. Redacted. This is like a CIA document. Everything's fucking redacted. So I was able to assuage his fears and explain that I am not, and have not threatened to kill Vince. I also told him I'm not threatened by Smash World Tour and have no reason to want to kill them. Explained that Nintendo can't license events on an unlicensed circuit, being the real reason why our circuit is exclusive, blank. I additionally explained that I've offered many ways to work with BTS and I'd rather work with them, not against them, but they just won't talk to us. So, yes, blank does believe us because the shit Kin was telling him to counter everything we've done as a company and who we are as people, but that explains a bit of why I was holding back. He also mentioned that Kin/BTS feels very threatened by us, and so does Smash World Tour. No thoughts on what to do. I don't really care that much. It's clear Kin is trying to actively undermine us, but considering that everyone is willing to work with him or talk with us outside of blank, I don't think he's been very successful. This is all a very confusing read-off rip. Right away, though, this he mentions that BTS and Smash World Tour feel threatened by them. It feels like the opposite. What are you talking about? The whole community was celebrating Panda working with Nintendo, including the other orgs. I don't really know where that's coming from. The Smash community has always been very symbiotic, where when one org is thriving, every org is thriving. Like, they all work together in the same bundle of success. It's not really like, oh man, Panda's doing well, now we're fucking threatened because now our shit's gonna be bad. Like, if Panda's doing well, it means now there's more interest, and that is good for the other events too, and it's always felt that way. Maybe it was different behind the scenes with Alan. I don't really know. It's super hard to decipher this mess right here. But the impression I've always got is every tournament organizer likes when other tournaments are successful because it's mutually beneficial to everyone. Thanks to the tier or the bits Balmung. But I could absolutely see people not liking him. Like, there's been a lot of stories that have circulated now with relationships with Alan that are less than favorable. But it seems like he's blaming people that don't want to work with him on BTS or Smash World Tour not working with him. At least that's the impression I'm getting here from this jumbled notes. The events and claims that I will be making are true. Some have evidence, some do not, as most of this is a verbal conversations. In those cases, I do my best to recall details from memory and find corroborating evidence from internal chat logs with timestamps. I encourage you to read everything presented as it is. I don't know why I'm struggling to read so much tonight out loud. Presented as to be better informed to the circumstances surrounding the Smash community currently. Okay, intro. Yeah, all of this right here, I mean, that's a fine thing to mention. The harassment, all that shit is always terrible. That's an absolutely horrible thing that happens during situations like this, 100%. I also don't think it's wrong for him to mention it here, since this is him being personally attacked, as opposed to like where Bethesda brought this up, where they had done the exact same thing to Mick. Like, that's when it was weird when Bethesda tried to say something like this, but for Alan, I understand bringing this up about being an individual who's now experiencing a whole lot of harassment. So, I mean, I get that. I understand why I'd want to put that there. Well, this is already kind of misleading. Wasn't this in the Smash World Tour statement that they had waited so long for any kind of approval from Nintendo, and then, like, with time running down, this, like, they had to make the decision to go through with it? Or am I misremembering the timeline? Was that 2022 where they just still had radio silence on the licensing and then had to make the announcement, and Nintendo was like, yeah, we understand, we took too long? Or is he talking about a different instance? Are they two separate ones? Thanks to the gift sub Ace and the resub Peepo. Yeah, almost a year. Okay. What? The Smash World Tour was the perfect gambit for VGBC. Information came to us from an anonymous source all the way back in 2020. VGBC was feeling pushed out of the community from losing so much ground to BTS they wanted something of their own and came up with the Smash World Tour Gambit. He's treating this like he's Lelouch from Code Geass. What do you mean a gambit and losing ground to BTS? It's not a competition. Again, everything I've ever seen from the Smash community orgs is everything's grassroots. Well, it was. So when one thing's succeeding, it helps everything else succeed around them. It's always beneficial. Like, I don't think people are vying for territory or anything like that. I don't know why he's calling it like a gambit. He's the resub Void and the Prime Queen. Smash World Tour doesn't get shut down. VGBC gets their own circuit without the years of negotiation with Nintendo, which they were trying their absolute best to do and were in communication with them for a long, long time, doing everything they could. It's not like they just wanted to go behind their back. Smash World Tour uses the threat of social media backlash against Nintendo to pressure Nintendo into giving them a license, which they didn't do until they had already been declined a license. Like, they didn't pressure Nintendo into giving them a license. They did this to explain why they were shutting down, why they had to shut down. It wasn't leverage to try and get Nintendo to give them a license. Like, it wasn't trying to mount pressure to get them to release the Krabby Patty secret formula to them. It was, we're shutting down and here's why. Smash World Tour gets shut down by Nintendo, and now VGBC is the martyr of the community due to Nintendo. Then the community will rally behind their other events to support them. Which they didn't need. The community already supported them. I don't know how he came up with such a weird view of the scene. Now, maybe things are different behind closed doors, I guess, but they had tons of support. Their YouTube channel was doing nothing but growing. Their events had huge viewership. Like, it's not like they needed this. In fact, this is very bad for them. They lost a lot of money on it and a lot of eyes. I don't really understand that take. Pretty straightforward logic. VGBC wins no matter what. VGBC also knew that Nintendo has never issued a license to any event with the name Smash in it, nor have they licensed in a circuit before. VGBC knew both of these and launched the Smash World Tour anyway. What is this point? They've never licensed anything until Panda. So it's not like the word Smash was the red flag. They've just never licensed anything anyway. Have they? Have they ever licensed anything besides Panda? So what is the word Smash being here? Why does that matter? Thanks, resub Steve. Oh, I was playing Warhammer. Oh, let me switch categories. I forgot. Thanks, the resub Waffle. Is this accurate? Recently been informed the main hotel in San Antonio listed in the Smash World Tour Discord did not have any pre-existing block or any expectation of large groups this weekend. There was no block canceled. It simply never existed. Like for the event or for the players? That was debunked by 2 people on Twitter already. Well, that was fucking quick. Let me see. Because I already can tell you right now, we at Moist Esports had paid for travel to that area. Like that was a thing. Where can I find that being debunked? So it'd be quite shocking to realize that that was never happening in the first place. Where is the... Oh, here it is. I don't know about the rest of the statement's legitimacy, but to claim the event was never going to happen because no hotel block is ridiculous. People were given stipends/flights for the event prior to its cancellation, plus the TPC venue was booked that weekend. Bear Dog Events LLC, DBA Smash World Tour, money receipt. Okay. This was quite the Allen gambit of lying here with this statement. The rest could be true. We'll still keep reading, but that was quickly debunked. That was a pretty bold one to make a claim on without being 100% sure because it's easily provable if it was booked or not. I don't know why he'd try and work that angle if it's not real. Scroll down. In which one? I don't want to get hit with the Council of Cock. Oh, it's just more evidence. Also, for context, I'm sure most people didn't read the article. Recently been informed that the main hotel in San Antonio... Additional... That's just a statement from the document. Additional 2 times anecdotal evidence. Top alt player Zamba on a prior thread corroborating on flights being paid already. Statement from the event photographer being hired by Techport for the tournament. Alright. So that was a odd claim to make if it's not accurate. Thanks to the resub Cr1tikal Hydra and the 5 gift subs Kill a Queen. Thanks for that. So I don't know who informed him of this, but he should have checked at the bare minimum there. This right here is a fine thing to state, like, if they were confused by mixed messages, why didn't they email back? But they weren't confused by mixed messages. According to the Smash World Tour tournament organizers, they were told that the time of unlicensed events is behind them, and then the night before Thanksgiving said, they got their email, that they are not going to be licensed for this event. So connecting those dots, which anyone would do, is basically saying, you know, you can't really do this anymore, since they were told verbally that time is gone, and then they didn't get their license. The natural conclusion someone would draw is, we can't do this. And Nintendo is not a company you want to go into a legal battle with. So I can absolutely understand where that would come from. If there was confusion, I'm sure they would have emailed back, but there wasn't because they were told verbally one thing and then received that the rejection of a license. So I don't even think there was confusion. It was pretty put in stone. Thanks to the resub, Megan, Warlord, and Twitching. Keep reading, to be honest, I believe Alan. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it, but he is blatantly wrong about a very big claim right here. This is not accurate according to a couple sources over on Twitter that have shown that this was blocked, like it was booked. So this is a huge red flag if he's lying about something like that. But this wasn't a claim they made. They weren't saying that he sabotaged them or got them shut down. Just that his actions of strong arming the community with threats against like BTS with their relationship with Nintendo made the entire scene difficult. In their statement, they never pinned the blame on him. Oh, he transcribed it here. I didn't have to zoom in. This is talking about moving around the scheduling around BTS and Smash World Tour and like booking over each other and having to be flexible with dates. This is what I was worried he'd focus on. Why would I want Smash World Tour to be shut down? Again, that's just not something they pinned on you, though. It's just pointing out your behavior of leveraging your relationship with Nintendo against TOs for either broadcasting rights or trying to get them to join the Panda Cup, and the difficulty that ensued as a result of that. Like, in their statement, they do not pin him as the one responsible for Smash World Tour being shut down. Just that it was a very hard thing to navigate with what he was doing and then working with Nintendo and just trying to get the like tournaments like properly set up. Did he, like, did he read the statement? Because they just don't make that claim. They don't. If he should be focusing on debunking his behavior that they were calling out. They never said they think he actually had something to do with it. Everyone was claiming that. Everyone was reading between the lines because after pointing out, like, the threatening to be on the summit and then what happened to them, people connect the dots, which, of course, is the natural line of thinking, like, well, maybe Alan worked with Nintendo to shut Smash World Tour down as a competitor. But they themselves don't make that claim. They just put his bad behavior out there on what made it so difficult for them to work with everyone else. Like, they just don't make that claim. I guess you could say they indirectly hint at that, which I guess is a fair argument to make. Like, it could be implied by pointing out the behavior. I also don't really get this one. Smash World Tour leadership stood to gain the most out of anyone. How? They lost their biggest event. And not only that, they lost any chance of having like a Nintendo relationship because of how incendiary this whole situation has been. It was a net loss for everyone. Legitimately everyone. I don't know what he thinks they gain out of this. Like, community goodwill, they already had that. More eyes on their future events, they already had that. Like, people just watch the events regardless. I don't know why he thinks they gained anything. It's just a full net loss. It's just a bad thing all around. Thanks, resub Cupid. I don't know where he gets this view of like them wanting community dominance. Like, I don't think they've ever shown anything like that. They're more than willing to like let tournaments run however they want to run. Join the Panda Cup, don't join the Panda Cup, whatever. But like with Panda, there was the exclusivity to it where they wanted everything to be exclusive. They wanted all the broadcasting rights. That sounds more like community dominance as opposed to VGBC's events being like, yeah, you guys can do whatever you want. VGBC doesn't even charge you to watch party their events. Business competition, but that's completely irrelevant because there's not like a finite pool of watchers. The Smash community watches every tournament. Like, they watch all of them equally. They're all very similar in terms of viewership. There's no like community dominance. VGBC had like the best goodwill, but that didn't translate to more viewers. Ken posted receipts. I've had a feeling he would. I have a feeling there's going to be a flood of receipts coming out after this. Here, I'll pull that up, but I want to finish reading this first before going through it. Oh man, yeah, wait, he just dropped a lot. Holy shit. Alright, yeah, we'll go through that in a minute. These are resubs Sapphire and Conway and Wallaby and Moose. Yeah, this was the final act of this play here. There is a lot happening all at once. Sidebar, I've been told that someone named LD is claiming I said things. I don't know who LD is, nor do I care. As far as I'm aware, I've never talked to them, never seen them, and never met them in my life. LD is one of the actual biggest people at Beyond the Summit, like a founder. You know him. You would have had to know him, especially since you've already been talking about Beyond the Summit. You've talked to him. You know him. I don't know why he's making these easily provable false claims, such as the hotel never being booked or whatever. I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, I'll double check. I'm pretty sure LD is one of the founders of Beyond the Summit. Like, been in the scene forever. Like actually forever. I don't get that at all. All right, let's see. Let's do like a full history here. So if you just go to like very base level, like if you just want like base level, not even digging too deep, going to Beyond the Summit, founded March 2012, key people are David LD and David Gods. Like, they've been there the whole time. And you've been talking about Beyond the Summit and talking to Beyond the Summit, as you've mentioned in your statement. Thus, you have talked to LD. You know LD. I don't know why he's pretending he doesn't know who that is. I don't know who Liquipedia is. I've never met Liquipedia. That's such a weird claim to make. There's the Prime Brack in the resub new name and Prime Athena in the resub Josh. Here's the background of my two whole personal interactions this year with BTS, or more specifically with one of the most unsavory individuals I've ever had the displeasure of interacting with, Kin Chin, aka Hotbid. Kin is also the one that just dropped the fattest load of receipts on Twitter a moment ago. At least it looks like it at a glance. Voice crack at a glance. He's got like 7 tweets that he queued up here after reading this. So we can go through this pretty soon. Oh, it's a lot more than 7. Holy shit. But yeah, he dropped quite a bit. BTS is a pillar of the community and sets new standards for high-quality productions and Smash all the time. Yet you don't know one of the founders, like one of the key people? You've never talked to them in your life? Despite talking about the times that you've been trying to like work with them or communicating with them? I thought this was going to be a screenshot of Kin looking terrible here, like of him looking really unreasonable and mean. It just looks like really to the point stuff like, no, that's great. Happy to talk to them. I figured he'd look for like a screenshot that makes Kin look terrible in their conversation. But he just showed a very normal conversation here. This is talking about the broadcasting rights. And a possible collaboration. Why would people think a multi-trillion-dollar global company would jump when I snap my fingers? I have no idea. What a loaded sentence. Well, multi-trillion. We've got to snap out of Fantasyland for a moment. They're a huge company that there's no universe or dimension in the multiverse where they're multi-trillion. But no one thought they would. Did he read the statement from them or not? Like, I don't understand. They never said that anyone believed that you would get Nintendo to act. The thing they were calling out is you making the threat of talking to Nintendo about acting. It's leveraging your position negatively against the community that was being called out, not people actually thinking that you will get Nintendo to act on your behalf. Nobody that I've seen, like nobody with a brain, ever thought that. Just that you have, according to multiple people, have made a threat like that to BTS, which is bad. That shows very selfish intent. It's a bad look. Not that people actually thought Nintendo was going to shut down BTS because you asked them to. Multi-trillion yen, I think is what he meant. Why would he say multi-trillion yen and somehow get it confused with dollar? Why are we making these giant leaps for the sake of trying to make sense of this statement? I think he just got a little carried away with how big Nintendo is. They're huge. And in order to illustrate that point, he went with a very, massive number to put into perspective how big they are compared to, Panda. Like he just went a little hard on this, which it comes out looking a little silly. It's not the biggest deal. Like getting that wrong is not a big deal. It's just a little silly is all. He keeps saying Kin yells at him in these verbal conversations. Of course, there's no way of knowing for sure. But that is something that is standing out. Oh, thank you the 16 gift subs, Cylindristic. Good to see you again tonight. I hope you had a good day. Thanks to Tier 1 Crazy Lax Man. What? He yelled, "Let it happen. Let the can of worms open." Kin was willing to jeopardize the entire Smash community with reckless abandon. And it would have happened had I not figured out how to stop the escalation without him. This is reading like an actual soap opera plot. Huh? To the screenshot showing he didn't reply. So it looks like the Beyond the Summit people weren't replying to Alan, not wanting to talk to him or work to him, so he's showing the screenshots to show that they weren't receptive to his communication and attempt to work together. Which is a fair thing to show. They didn't like Alan, Alan didn't like them. Looks like Alan kept trying to reach out to make some partnership happen that BTS wasn't interested in. Okay, now let's see what Kin says about this since he dropped his evidence. Here's me talking to Alan about how running to Nintendo and banging on doors about the broadcast rights is potentially an existential threat to the entire scene. Oh, this is actually the continuation from one of the screenshots Alan posted, because it's still talking about broadcasting rights in the gray area. About the tournament selling broadcast rights and broadcast being monetized. Like this. We'll work on outlining a plan for you. Where are we coming in here? I hope they don't. That'd be pretty catastrophic for every single event. I don't know what they're thinking right now, but yeah, def could get rough in some situations. I hope not. So this is him acknowledging the Nintendo broadcasting debacle that was briefly talked about in Alan's statement. Jesus, this is so much back and forth, people taking notes and talking to each other here. In that call, Alan threatened BTS multiple times. I reported the threats as the call was happening directly after to LD. My boss at the time, LD was not on the call, but was there as I typed a transcript of it on Slack. Here's a screenshot of me doing so. Dude, Alan's on the call legit threatening me about 2023. What the fuck? To be clear, I did not yell or explode at Alan. Of course, there's no way to prove one way or the other. He may have, he may not have. There's no way of telling. There's no hard proof on either side. In fact, part of the reason I left BTS to join Team Liquid in June was because I never wanted to deal with Alan or Panda again. Confided this to multiple people as I left. Panda themselves issued a statement saying they regret Alan threatening BTS, yet he completely denies it happens here. I don't accept your apology because even here you don't actually apologize. You even say accept Kin and only admit the conversation was perceived wrong. That is a fair point. In Panda's official statement, they acknowledged what Alan did and why it was bad. Well, not why it was bad. They acknowledged Alan did threaten BTS, but it looks like Alan's saying that didn't happen and he doesn't even know who LD is, which is a weird angle to play. BTS refused to collaborate with Alan because of his conduct, not because of me. I simply reported the exact truth of the conversation with LD and BTS leadership and can verify happened right after the call with Alan in March. I have not been publicly and privately turning people against Panda for months. I've simply been telling the honest story of what happened, which was threats and bullying by Panda, his own org. Threats and bullying that Panda, his own org, admitted to happening. As for the NDA talking about real estate, an absolutely hilarious thing to include in this, I'm more than willing to post the entire NDA if Panda allows me to. Multiple people have confirmed their NDAs have the real estate language in it. It's just a failed copy-paste job. For reference there, after all the Panda stuff like 5 days ago, people noticed their NDAs with Panda for talking about, well, I think their calls or something involving TOs. Their NDAs actually only applied to parcels of real estate. So what they were doing is they were using boilerplate NDAs that didn't even apply to the situation. And I guess Kin had brought one of those up as just kind of like a joke, like, damn, there was a lot of mismanagement happening somewhere. And I guess somewhere in Alan's statement, he brings up the NDAs about real estate. But that wasn't like a big point being made. They're just like, hey, this is kind of a goofy thing to talk about with everything going on. And also letting people know if they want to share their stories, they can, because the NDAs aren't actually binding since they only apply to parcels of real estate. Thanks for the gift sub, Cylindristic. I will say that since there's no like verbal proof either side's going to have here, I don't think any of them secretly recorded the call. Taking notes of what happened on either side is completely unreliable evidence. Because let's say I'm in an argument with someone or I'm talking to someone I really don't like. I could easily just be like, I'll just type some fucking notes right now about shit that's not happening in order to use this later if I ever need to. Because there's no way you can ever fully disprove it since it's just a verbal communication. You can literally type anything. Like, you can't put a lot of stock in. I took these notes during the conversation as they happened. On Kin's side or Alan's side, neither one of them really has a whole lot of stock in it. Like, because again, you can just type anything if you just don't like the guy. Like, it doesn't. It's not real evidence. They would need like an unbiased third party to take those notes. Yeah, you would literally need a witness there to transcribe it accurately. But even Panda says Alan tried to bully the other org. No. That is confirmed by Panda as well as multiple sources. Like, that has confirmation. What I'm saying is, like, the note-taking of live conversations isn't evidence. Like, that's not real actionable evidence. This one stood out to me as well. The whole like monologue of Kin saying "let the can of worms out," willing to jeopardize the whole community or whatever. Again, that's a big claim to make. Okay, so that's Kin's side of their conversations. Oh, and here's this. Here's us predicting this drama and situation happening in March, which is why I didn't speak out earlier about this whole thing. I didn't want the entire community and pandas and org to suffer. It sounds like he is so desperate that he's trying to get Nintendo to bully TOs into working with Panda. Yeah, I don't think that can even happen though. And yeah, response is definitely a massive PR response, which gets the entire community to say fuck Panda and fuck Nintendo. Because Nintendo does actually care about public backlash, and this would be basically Evo, and this would be basically Evo 2.0. The biggest public backlash in history would be shutting down every major TO's ability to sell sponsors and broadcast rights. Yeah, it's the death of the competitive stream smash. This is them talking about, like, this could happen with the way Alan was behaving, I suppose. Thanks to the resub vintage. This is just hearsay. Yeah, so far Alan submitted no proof. The only proof he's had is that BTS didn't respond to him, but both sides are acknowledging that their conversations together were not productive and they were not friendly. They were not good conversations. So it makes sense BTS wouldn't respond to Alan going forward. That's not really showing me anything. Their unwillingness to work with him. That actually tracks. That sounds about par for the course. But so far in his statement, he makes two very big claims that were proven wrong. I think it's important we note that. Of everything here that's like hearsay and shit, like some of it, all of it even could be true with their conversations. There's really no telling there. But he has made two factually inaccurate statements that are big ones. The first being Smash World Tour had never even booked the hotel. That's wrong. And the second being he has no idea who LD is. That can't be right because he is literally one of the key people beyond the summit. They would have talked over the years. Like there's no way he doesn't know who that is. So far, those are the only two, like, blatantly wrong statements, and they are two big things to lie about. Like, knowingly lie about, if he is doing it on purpose. Which I have to imagine he is. He absolutely has to know who LD is. Especially with how much he's, like, talked with BTS and tried to talk to BTS. He would have to know who that is. I gotta pee real quick, though, before continuing. Give me two seconds. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, thanks to the resub Panda and the gift sub Cylindristic. You heard the toilet flush? Oh yeah, no, that you always do when I forget to mute the mic, which is like every time. All right. Well, my intention had no malice. Except kin. So is this from their legal team? I'm assuming it'd have to be. So then this is what Ken was saying. I'll just post the full NDA so you can read it yourself. So he's saying, I don't even know why he makes this statement here. This is just kind of like irrelevant because it was just like a goofy thing he pointed out, unless he's just blatantly wrong about it. Maybe Ken misread it and maybe it is like a totally normal NDA. I will say I've seen a lot of NDAs in my years. I don't think I've ever seen one that mentions parcels of real estate. Usually they're catered to the situation at hand. Like that's not exactly like a super standard thing. Maybe it's different in the Smash scene. I don't know. But from the many NDAs I've experienced, I've never once seen parcels of real estate being one of the focal points. Ken also said he had a lawyer look at it. I guess that is another good point. This is what was at the top. I already read that. Oh, here. So now he's finally talking about this one. But didn't he already like allude to it not being real earlier? Maybe that was a different thing? Thanks to the gift sub Odyssey and the resub Sinister and Lettuce. Okay, so he's saying that this was a misunderstanding about strong arming and threats, I guess, by extension. That he was excited to talk about it and maybe didn't convey it properly. Which I guess? But Panda said that they were aware of a way that Alan conducted himself that was unprofessional and not good. That doesn't sound like a misunderstanding. If it was a misunderstanding, I feel like Panda would have been much more on that train of, no, Alan never meant anything by this, it was a misunderstanding. I feel like they would have defended that as opposed to just run with it. Like, yeah, we know Alan did something bad. And then, like, be dismissive. But they acknowledged it, right? But if it was a misunderstanding, I feel like they would have just said, like, no, this was a misunderstanding. I guess maybe at that point, like, the Panda PR team wasn't talking with Alan, so I'm trying to give, like, a really charitable interpretation of it, because he's saying something very different than what Panda themselves was saying with that. Thanks to the Prime Cat and Wolf. Panda just admitted what we wanted to hear, but they didn't, though, because their first response was, like, being dismissive of it, which is why it was so poorly received. If they just wanted to say everything that the community wanted to hear, they would have immediately said, like, we are investigating these things. Alan is temporarily put on leave while we go through this situation and shit like that, but they didn't. They acknowledged it and then just kind of were very dismissive. Thanks to the gift sub blammo. Where's the... oh, he didn't transcribe this one. Fuck. So this is a montage of, like, his communications with other TOs, where he doesn't mention, like, disappointment for not joining or, like, trying to scare them into joining. Genesis, Low Tide, Shine, and Riptide were all licensed by Nintendo? Wait, what? Genesis has been licensed for every one of their events since Genesis 3? Like an officially licensed tournament? What? That's news to me. I had no idea about that. It's a different kind of license. Well, what's the difference? Why is the Smash community the hardest community to get straight information from? I have no fucking clue. And it doesn't help that Nintendo's also terrible at giving any kind of straight information at all. Fucking awful. So they got explicit permission from Nintendo. So was it like a Nintendo partnered event? Or did they just get like the official blessing? I'm assuming it just had to be like the blessing, right? It's not like to the same degree Panda was. It's not like Nintendo and Genesis they work together. Okay, so they just got the blessing. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I guess when I hear license, I think of what Panda does with Nintendo, where it's like a one like a one-on-one, like we work together hand in hand kind of deal. But this is just Nintendo giving it the nod of approval officially, as opposed to just like a wink wink kind of thing. Okay. Thanks to the resub, JMac. Yeah, no, I didn't do any speedruns of Hello Neighbor tonight. I did Warhammer Darktide, which was good so far. I've only done like one mission, but it seems pretty cool. Okay, so it's talking about who hasn't signed and them not going to be like threatening them to join or anything. So this is talking about how great the deal was and how it'd take like a big burden off their plate. I would be very inclined to believe this statement. We get 10% of a much bigger pie. We don't want the full pie. If he wasn't asking for exclusivity, though, right? He still hasn't explained why it was exclusive because it's redacted information in here. I guess that's like a super secret thing. But there'd have to be like a really good reason for it to be exclusive because that's like the exact opposite of we don't want the full pie. Genesis said they were officially partnered with Nintendo in 2017. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I had no clue about that being an official thing. He said it was Nintendo that wanted it redacted. Which is unlucky because it'd be really helpful to know what the exclusivity was for then if it wasn't for like a large portion of the community to be under the same umbrella. Which would be the full pie, as opposed to 10% of a bigger pie where everyone's growing. Thanks, Arisa Blue. Big question we get all the time is what is Nintendo providing that makes the partnership worth it? I don't even care what he says going forward. What are they providing? Fucking nothing. Them just being there in an official capacity is more than they've ever done, and it takes a big headache away of like, will this get shut down by Nintendo? Maybe they do more than that, but all they need to do is just like sign off on it. Like that's all they've ever had to do is just sign off on it, and if they like it, man, maybe even put like some money and like prizes behind it or some shit. But literally just signing off on it's the main draw why everyone wants like a Nintendo license or partnership. So they don't have to fear getting shut down. I hope he addresses their reasoning of not giving the Smash World Tour license being health and safety related. I'd really like more insight on why that decision would be getting made, but I guess Alan might not be the one to clarify it. Again, I would just like to know why the exclusivity then. All of this sounds great. Like, all of this up in here, like, that sounds great, and it makes complete sense. But with the exclusivity thing and, like, wanting them to join the Panda Cup exclusively with all of the rights and everything, that, again, just seems like the whole pie. It's a real shame Nintendo isn't letting him explain that part, because maybe there's, like, an actual decent reason for it. The finale. Talking about how lit the finale would have been. Would have had arcade games, a carnival section, blackjack, hookers, gotcha machines, and crane games. God damn. And completely free. Woof. Jesus Christ. Okay, so yeah, I guess he doesn't have information on why Nintendo cited health and safety concerns for not giving the license to the Smash World Tour. Like, it's just hard to put a lot of stake in this. Like, it all does sound amazing, but the facts still remain. In writing, Smash World Tour received notice that Nintendo would not license them, and this was through their conversations, the time of unlicensed events is now gone. So, like, even though all of this sounds great, this whole thing about, like, we're doing this because we want everyone to be able to do Smash events, even if it's not with us, the freedom of Smash events, like, it clearly, like, there's a disconnect there between him and what Nintendo's actually doing, which I guess isn't really his fault. Like, he's not the one making Nintendo do that shit. I have no clue, Laszlo. Thanks, Risa Bryson and Soul. True. Esports is an industry that's just always losing money. And they take from venture capital. That is legitimately like every single esports org out there. This is not a really good summation. Like, his points that he made, like, I don't think they were terrible points or anything, but this is a terrible breakdown of it. Smash World Tour stood to gain nothing. Like, I think Alan is just blatantly wrong about that. All they stood from this situation, like the outcome, is complete net loss across the board. Loss of faith from Nintendo, so I don't think the VGBC will ever be getting a license from Nintendo after all of this. That will just never happen. They lost the biggest event of the year for them, which is where they'd make the most money for the $250,000 circuit they put on. So they lost a ton of money on that, a ton of money on putting it all together. Like, all of it was a net loss for them. They had nothing to gain. Absolutely nothing to gain. So to say that it was the Smash World Tour gambit and say, like, it was all to try and make themselves the hero for more community eyes is, I think that's a terrible angle to take. Like, the points he was making, of course, aren't provable points because there was no evidence. Except for, like, notes he took during conversations. But, like, the points, I think, aren't horrible that he tried to make. But this, like, the reasoning for it, I think is way off. Like, I think that's silly. Even if he wants to take it from a sponsorship angle, that still doesn't compute. Because the sponsors that are in the Smash scene right now have been in the Smash scene for, like, years now. So it's not like they're even getting new sponsors or wanting new sponsors. And it's not like the sponsors that were sponsoring Panda Cup are going to go to fucking VGBC now after this blow up. They just won't come back. So again, it's just another net loss where VGBC will never get those sponsors or anything. Thanks to resub. Smooth and tier 1 blammo. I don't know how you get that takeaway though, Abungi. VGBC looks very bad if this is all true because it looks like they were leveraging their place in the public eye to pressure Nintendo. But that would make sense if they did this before getting canceled. Like, if they did this months ago, like while they were still fighting for that license, then I would completely agree with the motivation. Like, okay, they're trying to strong-arm Nintendo to force them with public pressure to give them a license. But they had already been declined not only for this year, but for next year, which they didn't even apply for, and they still got declined. So they had only released all of this after they got declined. So there was nothing they could gain from it. There was no public pressure that would get the license back. They had already got the no for an entire 2 years. So they just had nothing to gain from this whole situation. Like you can't, they couldn't pressure them to do it when the decision was already made. But I would agree, if this had happened earlier, that would be a completely rational reasoning. Their sponsors were contingent on Nintendo sponsoring them. Has that been proven? That would be a big thing. Oh, if I had to guess. Oh. Yeah, that would make sense, I guess. Like, after they got declined, then they would have lost their sponsors, lost their money, so thus they needed to make this big song and dance out of it. If that could be proven, that would make sense. Then yeah, then that whole situation would then unfold and look really bad for VGBC. But that's just speculation. All of it is. Easy tier 1-6. But for the entire, Jesus Christ, however long VGBC's been around now, they don't have any kind of history of doing anything manipulative like this. They have like the most goodwill in the community and always have. Like, it doesn't sound like that'd be some kind of galaxy brain plan they would have come up with in order to fuck everyone. That just doesn't make sense. Thanks to resub CJax. Besides Project M. Oh, I guess I don't know that whole situation. Thanks to resub Pegasus. VGBC tried to gain something in place where there was nothing to gain. What did they try to gain, though? Again, like, I haven't heard an answer that makes sense here of what they tried to gain. All they did was lose. Like, I don't understand. What? That's a question to the guy that just said that. What did they try to gain? PR. How does that help them when they lost all this money? How is that PR helpful? They're going to have the same amount of eyes on their content as they always have. If they had no money left to run the event, well, even still, then they have nothing to gain. But yeah, if all of the sponsors were contingent on the Nintendo license, then yeah, that would then make sense for all of this to happen. Or why they would do that. They gained the destruction of one of their competitors. I think everyone still has this really bastardized idea of how this ecosystem has worked, at least as I understand it. Even in Alan's statement, he's talking about how he always wanted to symbiotically work with the community. That's been the norm in the Smash scene. Since it's all grassroots, everyone succeeds together or they all fail together. Like, it's not... I've never seen them viewing each other as competition where they want others to fail. Because it helps them when they don't fail. Like, when Panda was doing well, VGBC was doing well. BTS was doing well. When one of them was struggling, the other two then start struggling. Like, they all needed to work together. It was always ride or die. Like, it's not... Oh, do you hear that? Oh, I was just making motions with my hands on the table. I don't know why you can't even see my hands, but yeah. Like, there was just nothing to gain. The eyes are the same. The attention of the community is the same. They already failed and then tried to pin it on Alan to cover. Based on what? Again, that's just pure speculation. Not even Alan makes that claim. I think the most important thing, Like, again, all of this is hearsay. Like, there's no hard proof of anything from either side except from Smash World Tour with their side from Nintendo. They do have all of those receipts. Like, they do have that. That is all hard evidence. Everything else is hearsay at the end of the day. But the two big things here is in Smash World Tour's statement as well as what LD posted, there's nothing that's been factually proven incorrect. In Alan's statement, there are two factually just blatantly wrong things that he says that are provably incorrect. And one of them's huge because it's what he put as like the linchpin of his statement of Smash World Tour maybe being a gambit. It's where he said... Where was it? Oh. It was right over in here. I'll just Control F. What? Where was it? Oh, here it is. I've been recently informed the main hotel in San Antonio listed in the Smash World Tour Discord did not have any pre-existing block or any expectation of large groups this weekend. There was no block canceled. It simply never existed. That is provably incorrect. Provably wrong. That is just incorrect. That is a false statement. Top to bottom. Travel stipends for players does not equal hotel block. I think this is pretty solid. Like, everything was booked up, as I understand it. From the thread here, from the people confirming on their side, that all of it was a go. But I guess, yeah, maybe the number one way to do it would be just go straight to the hotel. Look at LD's tweet. Where does it start? Is this just more speculation? Yeah, this is him speculating on how all of this may have unfolded, which is exactly the same thing Alan did. The same thing every side is doing. Yep. So no hard evidence from anything here. It's all just speculation. Thanks to resub Caliborn and Epstein and 5 large fries. What do you mean, Bungie? It's not like they just didn't bother to get Nintendo sign-off. They were actively trying for the better part of, what was it, like 2 years? And being strung along by Nintendo. Like, Nintendo had plenty of chances to just say, like, we're not interested right now in order to stop the Smash World Tour, but they didn't. They kept stringing it along. Until the very, very last minute. Like, it's not like they just wanted to do it unlicensed. They tried from the inception of it. Thanks to the resub Kita, Fruity, and the Prime Master Slim. Read Ken. We already went through all of Ken's logs, but again, taking notes of a verbal conversation is not evidence. That's not substantiated stuff. Like, you can say anything there and claim that you were taking notes during a conversation. It's what Alan's done here with his notes. Ken also took notes about it. Either side could be completely lying about what I actually said there as a way of having like a little bit of a weapon down the line should they ever need it. It was a transcript, no? A transcript he wrote. I could have like right now I could say the conversation you and I are having is you confessing to a crime and like, wow. User in chat said, "Oh my god, he buried the body underneath the pavement." Like, it's useless. Just because you say you're typing what happened, it's worthless unless it's like an unbiased third party that is transcribing it. It's about the dates. The dates don't matter. The dates are completely irrelevant to a typed up transcript that you are doing during the conversation. It would need to be an unbiased third party, because right now my date would check out. My date would absolutely check out. For example, the Flashing Rod 99. Well, I was just hanging out in chat and we were talking with Flashing Rod and he just started making these weird statements. Oh my god, he just made another weird statement 30 seconds later where, holy shit, he changed his grades in the school's computer system. I don't know what all of this means. Like, it's worthless. Like, the date would check out. I was looking at the Flashing Rod, but the information is useless. Like, I just don't put stock into this, like, I took notes during our conversation and this is the truth, because you can't prove it. Which is why it's just hearsay. Exit tier 1. Ja. It just proves they were talking about it back then. Oh, you're talking about Kin's tweet. Yeah, at the very least, his proves they were talking about Alan and his behavior all the way back in March. That is fair. I thought you were talking about the transcripts. That is a fair thing to say. Alan and Ken and LD were talking about Alan all the way back in March about what he was doing and how they didn't appreciate his behavior. That's fair. This is not claiming to be like a transcript of something that happened. This is just a conversation the two of them had in March. That's fair. And both sides have receipts that they were talking about it back then. Yeah, but on Alan's side, it's just him talking about like what isn't, like who isn't signed, who is signed, and like we did everything we could. We gave them as many carrots, but it wasn't enough. If they don't want to join, they don't want to join. Like his is just very matter of fact. Like, yes, we didn't get them, and here's how we responded back then, like internally. The first statement. What first statement? You talking about the very first thing up here? Because this is just his notes. Thanks, a resub, Ted. The date. But why does that date matter? This is Alan taking those notes. And, like, that's... Am I misunderstanding this? Wasn't this between him and... Who was it? That he clarified further down. This is just him relaying his notes. Or are you just saying like he was still talking about how things weren't great between them back then? If that's what you're saying, then that makes sense. Oh, you're just saying that he was talking about them back then. Oh, okay. Then yeah, you're just saying the same thing like with Ken, but with Alan. Gotcha. Thanks, resub Ted, Fire, and the Prime Duckus. Exactly, they both hated each other back then. Yeah, that much is very clear. Which is why I find it weird that he made an entire song and dance out of like, why are they stonewalling me? Why aren't they replying? Well, it's because you didn't like them, they didn't like you, so they didn't want to work with you. Like, that's very clearly why they're not responding. That's not eye-opening, and that's not really a knock against them. Like, if they don't want to work with you because they didn't like how the conversations went, they're not going to work with you. It's just that simple. Thanks, resub Transowu and the Razzle Dazzle. Seems more sad than anything else. Well, it is more sad than anything else. This is a massive hit to the entire Smash tournament community. The Marriott website actually has a page for the Smash event booking. Oh, that would be such a dagger in his, like, actual really wild claim. Hold on. Let me bring it up here and look a little deeper. Alright, where? Where do you go to see that, Silver? At the very top. Oh, well, yeah, actually, it is literally called Smash World Tour Super Smash Con Fans and Family, yeah. How long did it take you to find this? Yeah, because this was absolutely booked. It is literally named after it. Yeah. So, again, that is just a blatantly wrong statement. It was the Genesis reply to Alan. Oh, Genesis replied to them about it. Like the actual Genesis? Oof. This too. What's this? The Techport Center, aka the venue website, had an event page for Smash World Tour as recently as November 27th. It's been removed sometime since. And then here's the cache. Yeah, so this is yikes. So it's just wrong then. Like his claim is just wrong. Thanks a gift sub, Dylan. Yeah, that was just unequivocally false. Which is a very bad thing. That's a huge lie to make. To claim that they may not have ever had intentions of fully running it. So no way. Wait, is this from one of the TOs of Genesis? Holy shit, this is actually from a TO of Genesis giving a character witness statement on Alan. This is, as I've just learned, Genesis is like an official licensed partner with Nintendo, or at least has been. Got some shit to say, not going into detail, but from the very first moment Alan opened his mouth to the last time we spoke, nothing but snake-like sounds could be heard, like that shit in Harry Potter. Parcel tongue, my man. It's called parcel tongue. That's aggressive. Again, this is all hearsay, but I think it's important to note, every TO so far has only had negative things to say about their interaction with Alan. There has not been a TO to come forward as like a positive character witness for Alan yet. Now, maybe that's because the public pendulum has swung against him and they might be a little fearful. That's very possible. But the sheer amount of very similar stories that these TOs are sharing about him is a little absurd. Like the volume. Like, it seems like that'd be a hard thing for all of them to come together on as like a fuck this guy kind of thing. One thing for sure that was constantly reiterated in our calls was that Smash World Tour would be canceled, that Smash World Tour would be blacklisted, and that Gimmer was blacklisted, and it was only a matter of time before they were shut down, because, trust me, I know. Trust me was a term he used a lot. He at one point called himself the savior of Smash on a call. This is a lot. Again, this is more just like hearsay. There's no evidence, but this is like the 9th or 10th TO to share very similar experiences. In one call, it was confirmed that he was to be the licensed broker for the whole scene. This has the potential to be really, really bad for everyone. That means eventually, if he wanted to, you would have to be part of the Panda Cup to get a license, one person having the keys. If that's true, that is a massive problem. Obviously for the reason he points out, but also if he just doesn't like you, he never has to grant you that license. And thus, if the time of unlicensed events is truly behind us, like Nintendo said in their call with Smash World Tour, if all of that's true, then that means you would not be able to run events without Alan's blessing as the license broker. Assuming, of course, this is all very, like, on-the-nose accurate shit. I can go on, but generally most of the shit he's saying in that 31-page garbage tweet is a lie. It's riddled with manipulative ways of speaking, and it's just more of what I expect of a guy who thinks he's the fucking savior of Smash. This is, I guess, an important perspective because he is the TO of a very big event that is also licensed by Nintendo and was not even mentioned in Alan's tweet, or in Alan's statement. Thus, he was not put on the defensive. He didn't need to say anything. He wasn't forced to say anything. He's doing this because he felt so strongly about it with his own interaction. He had absolutely no stake in this other than just wanting to come out here and give his take on how he feels about it based on how he's talked with Alan. So this, I think, is a pretty big one. Thanks for the gift sub, Dylan, and Tier 1 Gideon. Thanks to the resub, Soto. He's not the only TO for Genesis. It doesn't matter if he's the only TO for Genesis, though. He is a TO that has personal experience with Alan, apparently. And being a TO of Genesis is a big deal because he was not named in this at all. Like, that's still an important perspective. I don't know why you're writing it off. TO is tournament organizer. Bobak is an OG. I believe him with my life. Yeah, a lot of people in chat were saying Bobak has a lot of goodwill in the community and has been a really like powerful TO for a long time in terms of like the good he's done for the scene. So this is a statement that does have quite a bit of weight to it. Here's the other main TO for Genesis statement. Damn, everyone's coming forward with statements now. I mean, this was a bombshell from Alan. Even though there was no evidence, it was still a very huge thing for the community. Here, let's pull this one up. So this is another Genesis TO, again, not named in Alan's document whatsoever. They had no horse in this. I want to see what he says. So Crimson Blur is standing up for Ken as a character witness for how they've worked together. To add on to this, I'd like to cite a situation that happened between Genesis and BTS that Ken could have completely thrashed this over privately and publicly, but didn't really even get mad or remotely raise his voice. So this is them defending Ken in what was a very aggressive stance from Alan against Ken. So this isn't him so much talking about Alan here, it's more just defending Ken. Which pokes holes in Alan's interpretation of Ken, posting him as some kind of like boogeyman in the scene. Why is there always so much drama in the Smash community? Isn't it crazy? It's so fucking sad too, because it's all so easily avoidable. It all could have just been so simple. Didn't have to get messy at all. Does anyone have evidence of the communication with Nintendo itself, or is it just between the tournament organizers? Actually, what has Nintendo done during this whole thing? Yeah, so Smash World Tour does have the emails that transpired between them. Of course, they don't have the verbal communications. That, again, is going to fall into hearsay. But they are the only ones that actually have legitimate evidence of what Nintendo has done and what they have said. Everything else is just hearsay. And in Alan's statement, he makes a blatantly false claim that was provably wrong and proven wrong very quickly about it being like a gambit that may have never even wanted to happen, the hotel not even being booked. That is wrong. You cannot make a big lie like this in a statement where you're supposed to be very much a believable narrator, a trustworthy narrator. This lie is a huge red flag for the actual authenticity of the rest. It's such a fucking shame, man. Ugh. At the end of the day, I still think the biggest villain is Nintendo themselves. Had they just been more receptive to working with the community a decade ago, we would have never been in this position to begin with. It would have never happened. There would be no power trips. There would be no hearsay, no he said, she said shit, no potential misinterpretations, no bad blood. Everyone would be on the same goddamn page. It would have been so fucking simple. Thanks to the resub rat sack. Look at Slime's pin, or look at Slime's retweet. Let me see. Where? I don't see anything there that's pertinent to this. Yeah, I'm on Slime's Twitter. I don't see anything that's even about this. Oh, I don't know how I didn't see that. It was right under the pinned tweet. Here, I'll just pull it up on screen. I spent over 2 years working with Ken in an office, never heard him yell or be out of line in even our biggest disagreements. Ken actually taught me a lot about being level-headed and evaluating tough situations with care, especially in meetings / BD initiatives. The amount of people coming out to defend Ken's character speaks volumes. Alan seems to be the only one with this view of Ken. No one else has come forward to corroborate Ken being an asshole. So that pokes doubt in that entire section. Because again, it's all just hearsay. Even like the character witness statements are just them giving their own anecdotal proof. But there's so many of them, whereas Alan is just one. And for what it's worth, I have also talked to Ken. Since having Moist Esports and being more intertwined with the community, I have also talked to Ken, and I have nothing but a positive experience with him as well, but I don't know him to the same level as everyone else. As someone coming from the Dota community, Ken has been nothing but professional during his time. Yeah, that sounds about right. Thanks to resub Boiler, Yukiwi, and the Prime Gentleman. More and more OG members of the community come out to talk about Alan being a snake, makes it harder and harder to believe a word he says. Exactly. At the end of the day, it is all hearsay, but with so many people all saying similar things about their interaction with Alan, and so many people coming together on Ken's side about how his interpretation in Alan's document makes no sense based on the years they've spent working with Ken, I really think that speaks a lot. Kadoran just posted something. What'd Kadoran say? I can corroborate this claim, and this is with Bobak's statement.
Signing me, what would get the ground rolling to have me sponsored under Panda? And straight up, what Dr. Allen told me was like, yeah, the thing is that I don't really believe in Melee.
Weird thing to say. When they have Melee players, one of the best in the world.
The numbers just aren't there. I believe in Ultimate more because, there's all these YouTube numbers, and then you look at Melee's YouTube numbers, and it's just not there. And if I were to sign someone like you, it's like, I would maybe give you $500 a month.
Jesus Christ. Again, it's just hearsay with verbal conversations, but that is yet another one against Allen, and this is to corroborate Bobak's claim about him not caring about Melee. This is him corroborating what Bobak was saying with his interaction. These are totally unrelated people, by the way. Kadoran has nothing to do with Bobak. Bobak is a TO for Genesis. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot. It's a lot. Thanks to the resub Falma. Hey, Rickles. No, of course, man. This is something I'm very passionate about. Without the Smash community, there wouldn't have been a Moist Esports. Like, it's a community that I'm very much deeply passionate about. Don't even know what Genesis is besides Alan angered them. Well, Alan didn't anger them, though. Like, Alan didn't even mention Genesis. And Genesis is huge. You don't know Genesis? Like, even outside of Smash, Genesis is just fucking massive. For fighting games. I guess if you're not in the FGC, you won't care. But with their interaction, they just felt so strongly that they wanted to come forward to talk about it. They didn't have to say anything. Like, Alan didn't mention them, didn't throw any kind of shade or shit, take a stinky little dump on him or anything. They just felt so strongly about him being untruthful in his statement that they wanted to publicize it. He did? Where? When did he mention Genesis? Other than when they didn't sign. Oh, this is like when he was talking about their positive interactions. Yeah, it wasn't anything negative about Genesis. Yeah. And then they mentioned him for a licensed event without being part of Panda Cup. See? Oh, that was your point. He made them hate them so much that they came out against him, even with Alan being nice in his statement to them. That is a good point, I suppose, yeah. Alan used them as an example of a positive interaction, yet Genesis did not have a positive interaction with him. That's not how they viewed it. That is a fair point. Man, fuck me. The question now is, does Nintendo go full scorched earth on licensed events? Unlicensed events? I fucking hope not. In the most ideal of circumstances, this whole situation is a big scar on the Smash community, but it heals with Nintendo taking the first step saying, this is a mess. Boys, we done made a big ol' shit stain on these britches. But it has shown us the passion of the community and we want to work closely with other organizers. I don't see that happening. I certainly don't see it happening. But that would be the absolute optimal outcome. Thanks to the bit snert. Also, I just heard Tetra try and open the bedroom door, so I'm assuming she needs to go out. I'm gonna go take Tetra out real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back. Ugh. Oh, that was so unlucky on that timing, Bruce. Oh, fuck me. Thank you for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. I'm sorry. I had to take Tetra out. There's a resub, Cat, and Super Goose, and Bug. Oh, you're still here, thank God. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate the raid. I hope you had a great stream. How long were you gone? I was only gone like 4 minutes. Tetra just had to go out. Is it Prime Koi? What's that, Peanuts? Is that another statement? Is it Prime Lucas? And Phantom? A tweet from the second Beyond the Summit member from the call between Alan and Ken. Let's see. Okay, so this is from someone that was in that call, that now infamous call in Alan's statement. The way I see it, Alan called us and tried to insinuate that he was slam dunk going to get all the TOs on Panda Cup and that Nintendo was requiring streams to be on Panda Cup channels because that way they could have greater degree of control over the content therein. We pushed back, had existing broadcasting agreements with them, and any agreement short of them buying us out of the agreements would be directly damaging to us. 3 days later, Alan says Nintendo wants to talk to us about the legality of tournament broadcasts on our channel. So this was the other person in there? Oh. And real evidence. Actual real evidence for the first fucking time tonight. Like, this is proof that this guy is who he claims to be and was in this call at the very least. Of course, what was said on the call could very much be a lie, but I noticed my webcam's blocking it there. But that's good. That's a good start. We have an actual receipt here to prove that this guy was on this call and he is corroborating what now 2 people are saying. Right now, Alan is the only one amongst an entire community of TOs that are all coming out at the same time, even TOs that weren't mentioned in Alan's documents coming out to go against him. Even when they didn't have to, even when they had no horse in the race, they just all had a negative experience. This guy was on the call and is claiming that the threat of like getting Nintendo involved was a real thing that happened. That is now 2 people making the exact same claim from the same call. Like that feels pretty substantial. When it's hearsay on both sides, like that seems important. There's more that cheat talked about. This, by the way, is something Nintendo walked back immediately. When Alan talks about concessions he made to the Panda Cup tournaments on this shit, it comes after Nintendo had calls with them, had calls with all your favorite tournaments and realized he was scaring the ever-loving fuck out of them. That is an interesting statement because that ties into something Smash World Tours briefly mentioned in their statement that Nintendo was having an internal investigation against Alan's behavior. That checks out with a statement made by Smash World Tour's initial statement. There's the Prime Polo Man and the resub Connor. Thanks to the Prime Neptune. A lot to mentally keep track of. I know. Well, it's actually really not. There's only one perspective that has no support behind it in terms of other people in the scene, and that's Alan's. Alan released his statement, and every TO in the scene right now, even ones not associated with the named ones in Alan's statement, have come out against him, talking about how manipulative and untrustworthy he was in their conversations with him being very bad. Like, everyone is against Alan, at least in the scene. Like the TOs, the tournament organizers, none of them are agreeing with anything Alan has said at all. Deer, a TO working with both Panda and VGBC, confirmed Alan threatened to shut down Smash World Tour last year. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. How... Literally every tournament organizer in all of Smash right now is coming out against Alan after his statement. He blew the floodgate open. I can corroborate that at Summit in November 21, I was verbatim told that Smash World Tour won't exist anymore, so being involved in both circuits was not something I'd have to worry about. And this is someone that has worked with both Panda and what was it? Panda and VGBC? Thanks for the bits, Vegan. Yes, I know, Vegan. We talked to them about that the entire way. Was there evidence for anything besides responses on Twitter? As much as I want to believe the TOs, it's been hard to take anything at face value. Well, no, because it's all hearsay. Except for Mikey. Mikey's the only one right now that's posted a screenshot of him being in that call that was where the threat was made. Like, allegedly where the threat was made. He has confirmed he was in a call with them that is mentioned in all of the statements from Alan and Ken. But in Alan's statement, there is also no evidence of anything other than hearsay. The whole thing is built up on hearsay, except the initial statement from Smash World Tour, which has the actual facts from Nintendo. They have evidence from Nintendo, but everything else is hearsay. Did you see the Yeah, we already looked at Bobak's thread. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Leos. Appreciate it, man. Just buy Panda shares and join both teams together. Yeah, I'll ask Lud if he wants to go 50-50 on buying Alan's shares, and then we'll be able to hopefully do something good with the Nintendo relationship. That would actually be unironically super fucking hype, I'm not gonna lie. Hey Connor, good to see you, man. You're loving this, aren't you? Actually, not at all. I think this is the worst thing that could have happened to the Smash scene. I couldn't imagine a more disastrous... Well, actually, I could. Another one of those, like, pedophile gates. But, like, aside from that, I couldn't imagine a second worse thing quite like this. Thanks to the bits, janitor. So this is also from Deer again. Someone that has worked with both Panda and VGBC. In the same meeting, he mentioned one day hoping to buy/own Battle of BC and the events on the Cup. That's what triggered me to be wary of him from the jump. I think Bobak has captured things well. Bobak being the Genesis TO. Thanks to the resub, Noah. When does God Slap 2 start selling? Hey, fuck yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're so hyped. 12 hours from now it goes up. Deadass, you could save Smash by buying the Panda shares and using Nintendo Bridge for good. That, I mean, again, that'd be very expensive, on like, no doubt about that, and there's no telling if Panda or if Nintendo wants to even honor that relationship going forward. Because after all this, I think there's a very real chance they back out entirely and never come back. Which is why I think this whole situation is fucking terrible. Exit tier 1 glue and the resub Velmond. I don't think white people think Nintendo are going to get involved. There's been more intense shit like the pedo stuff that they looked over. Bro, Nintendo is like a family-branded entertainment company. They're not going to come take a hardline stance about like pedophiles that play their games. That just shines a light on it and it'd be worse for them. I never expected them to do anything. Anyone that did was out of their mind. I mean, maybe I toyed around with the idea like, man, this is so big Nintendo might get involved, but in the back of our heads, I'm sure we all knew they wouldn't. Yeah, I already watched Kadoran's clip. Nintendo might not think about ever being partners after this. Again, that's what I've been saying. That's what I'm most concerned with. Only company that wants people to stop playing their games. I know. I know. Nintendo partnerships has just been, hey, let us run ads at your tournament. They've never been invested in the Smash. They've never invested into Smash at all competitively. And that's fine. Just having their blessing, knowing that they won't get shut down, is actually just good enough. It'd be great if they put money behind it, or production behind it, or a team behind it, but like that's not even necessary. Just having their blessing. Like, we are official partners. You're not getting shut down. Like, this is fucking good enough. He's a prime clown. New slime tweet. Okay. A week later, I had to walk the verbal offer back and say we're going with VGBC. We had discussions where Ken frankly but cordially said he was very disappointed and didn't like how negotiation was handled. That Ken is completely at odds with the Ken and Allen statement. Okay. So Slime is replying to T.O. from BT... Genesis. This was the head T.O. for Genesis. And he was coming out to defend Kin's character, saying that what Alan's saying about Kin makes no sense with the Kin that I've talked to. Even in the most heated of times, Kin had never done anything quite even close to the level that Alan said. And now this is Slime saying the same thing. I was in these meetings and can confirm we were bummed about the walk back, but didn't throw a hissy fit and ended up working with Genesis the next year. Do you think Alan wasn't expecting the people... Do you think Alan wasn't expecting people to tear this essay apart? I don't know what he was expecting. I really don't. It's, again, if he put any level of real thought into it, he would not have published this. I think you can pick apart this however you want. At the end of the day, there's no evidence, like, even from everyone coming forward to defend the character of other people, there isn't evidence to corroborate that other than their own experience. Which there is an overwhelming amount of support for Kin, whom Alan calls out directly as being a piece of shit or the boogeyman doing all these horrible things, Everyone has come out to defend Kin. No one said anything quite like Alan or even close about Kin. And there's also been an overwhelming flood of people to come out to shit on Alan. People that weren't even named in this statement. People that Alan actually named as a positive experience have come out and said, actually, Alan was a terrible experience for us. We don't like him. He's a snake. But again, it's all hearsay. But there is one factually wrong statement that he makes that is a blatantly incorrect lie. And I just don't think that should be overlooked. You can feel however you want to feel about his claims and whatever about VGBC and BTS. That's all totally fine, because it's going to be up to you as an individual and how you feel about it. But he makes one just blatantly wrong lie about it not being booked, it never having existed, about how he believed that the Smash World Tour was a gambit that they may not have even planned on actually doing. He then says that they didn't have a block. That is wrong. You can go on the Marriott's website right now, which we already did, and they have an entire block called Smash World Tour Fans and Friends. It's just a lie. Was his other claim backed up by evidence? No, there is no evidence for his claims. It is just hearsay. His screenshots are him confirming, like, conversations he's had. Like, oh, they didn't join us. They didn't join us this time. We gave them a carrot. They said no, they don't want to join. Like he's showing screenshots where he doesn't freak out or anything, but that's not evidence to disprove anything that was been talked about. Don't forget he doesn't know LD apparently. That is another thing that is just blatantly, I can't even call it blatantly a lie because it's so ridiculous. This just had to be some kind of brain fart. This is another thing in his statement that is just completely unbelievable that it would even be in here. He says he doesn't know who LD is, yet praises Beyond the Summit, which is LD's company, as one of the fucking key members of BTS since the beginning. He would know who LD is. I don't think the hotel is evidence that could be created by fans for rooms. No, like the block is there though. Like on the Marriott's site, it is booking through them for the Smash World Tour event. Can you start that as a normal person? Because not only that, but all of the travel was booked and stipend for like players and stuff. But like on the actual Marriott, you can actually book a room for that event. For the fans and friends bundle. I don't know how that works. I don't know if you can do that as an individual. That seems like something only the hotel would be able to do. That seems very dangerous if you give people the power to make their own bookings on their fucking hotel. Here is yet another... What is this? Oh no, this is just someone in the space. This is not a TO. This is again just another... name to add to the pile of people talking about and corroborating statements against Alan. Since one of the TOs has mentioned it publicly now, I've heard from nearly every major TO say that Alan talked about wanting to buy out the rights to their tournament brand. His goal was to own the entire ecosystem. This is like the fucking 10th or 15th TO saying the exact same thing. He's a prime Caleb. He's a prime Carson and the Bits Plutonian. Is this lore for Warhammer Dark Tide? Yeah. I work in hotels. You have to go through the group desk department to make those kind of bookings. So it is like an official booking? Well, hold on, what was your name? Jax. So, like, the Smash World Tour fans... Here, let me just pull it up. It'll be much easier. Oh my god, I've opened so many fucking tabs. Okay, I don't feel like strolling that far back. On the site for the Marriott, it was the Smash World Tour fans and family booking. Like That was where you were booking at that Marriott for that event, and then you book your rooms under it. Is that something that needed to go through the hotel officially as like, yes, we have this event, and here's how you book it? Or is that something that anyone could have set up? Oh, it was fans and friends? I thought it was fans and family. Oh, here. Hold on, Jax. This. Thanks for the link, Silver. Yeah, this is what it is on the site, on the Marriott, for this event. Wait, why is it saying temporarily unable to display the information? You give me a dead link? No, it's not working for me. It's saying it can't display it. I'd already pulled it up once on stream, so it's in the VOD. Voice crack. It's in the VOD regardless. But anyway, Jax, everything I described, is that something that anyone can do, like on the official Marriott site, or does that have to be from the hotel with the event booked? I didn't see what you said. Yes, you'd have to talk to them on the phone, block a certain amount of rooms at a specific price point for the people coming in. It takes time and a bunch of paperwork. Okay, that makes sense. That's how I thought it would be. But chat seemed to think anyone could do it. I just wanted a little more confirmation. Of course, I can't confirm you actually work at a hotel. But, I mean, it's better than just saying, no, anyone can make it a booking on Marriott under any name. That seems weird. Like booking an event at the Marriott under any name. Plus, it also seems like a lot of work to have done in less than an hour. Thanks for the bits, Bob. Link works now. I'm already over it. I don't need to pull it up. I got rejected twice. I already pulled it up once. Maybe he didn't lie. He was just misinformed. That's not like, but you can't be here. One of your first statements being a provable lie immediately cast doubt on the rest of your claims. It's not really an excuse. It says it was paid and booked back in November, so it wasn't even made recently. Huge. He's a prime vab. We really would love to know when you're finishing Devil Me. Oh, is Jackson streaming? I'm down to finish it soon. Like, can do it tomorrow. Oh, Jackson's not even streaming. Where did you... Why are you saying we? Yeah, I'm down to finish it soon. We. Why hasn't anything been done about Alan till now? Did Nintendo know about this and just not care? Well, I can tell you why they wouldn't do anything about it. Like, Ken even alludes to it here. It's just a disaster for the scene. Had all of this information about Alan come out, that's terrible for everybody. It's bad for the whole scene. You don't want that. Like I said, the Smash orgs have always had this At least as I understand it, this you succeed, we succeed mentality, because it's all grassroots. When one is succeeding, it is helpful for all the other ones around it. So you don't want to see one crash and burn because that hurts everybody around you. So of course they wouldn't want to come forward with some kind of like expose on Alan and him overstepping his line. Thanks to give sub Carson. Main stage TOs ate well because of this though. Viewership was the same, man. The viewership was still at 40 to 50, well 40 to 60k ballpark, which is great viewership. But yeah, they got a lot more people to go to it that canceled Panda. That is true. Smash viewership has been very consistent recently, and it's only been going up steadily. Pretty much every major averages between 30 to 50k. And all of the ones I've watched over the last year. Shit, the most recent summit, I think it was, went up to like 80. Here's a tier 1 James. Genesis and Evo used to hit 100k before COVID. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks to Prime. Chorpug. Thanks, Resub Spooky. Don't you think Technical's banned Nairo shit is a part of this? He was able to get into a VGBC event because they had no security, super irresponsible to not be checking people as they come in. He would have been able to do that at any esports event ever. All he did was just go in a disguise. What are they going to do? Pull the hat off him and check? Like, I certainly don't think that was at any point a reason for health and safety concerns from Nintendo. I've been to quite a few esports events, and it's usually they check your bag, they check your ID. Do you have a ticket? All good on all this? Go right in. Like, it's not like he was on the FBI's most wanted list or anything. He's just, at the end of the day, he is just a guy they didn't really want there, but went anyway. Like, it's not like the security's gonna have, like, a fucking wanted poster behind him with, like, a bounty. And they just somehow made a huge mistake by letting him in. That absolutely had nothing to do with the health and safety concerns. This is a tweet from a Panda employee. Is this a new one? Because we had one from earlier. Okay, let's bring this one in. Last Friday, Panda had an internal town hall meeting where Alan spoke to us, and many of us had the chance to speak in the call and ask questions. I urged Alan to speak the truth and to even consider a public third-party moderated video call with VGBC and or BTS to hash things out. It's a fair suggestion. Enjoyed my journey with Panda and Panda Cup over the years. Pretty sure everyone at Panda did. Oh, he's just talking about his time there. This isn't for or against Alan. Thanks the resub, Greasy. It seems like a lot of people just want to talk. Yeah, it feels like since all of this has happened and the lid's already been blown wide open, everyone's coming forward with their experience with Alan. And right now, every single one of them has been negative. And each one is corroborating the others, even from unrelated TOs. They're all sharing extremely similar experiences negatively about Alan. So far, there hasn't been any positive accounts of his character. His wife just tweeted. Yeah, I already went through the Bobak thread. Supporting is a death sentence? No, not really. Like, I saw, I think it was Coney. Coney was like, I never really had any reason to believe Alan was anything other than nice. I had a good experience with him. That said, you know, terrible situation, and then talked about all of the people coming forward with their horrible accounts of him. Like, there's of course going to be people that had good experiences with him. There absolutely will be. But those people are not the TOs, the people that he was directly communicating with in like a business capacity. Thanks the Prime Bread and Cinta. Thanks the resub Panic Attack. Yeah, I already watched the Kadoran clip. I'm pretty sure I've seen everything now. It's fucking 2:30 a.m. I don't think there's gonna be any more like big statements coming out. But yeah, this was a lot to take in. This was a pretty wild development here. Thanks the 2 gift subs, Insufferable. Emphasize not to attack the players or staff. Oh, I actually haven't seen any of that happening. I know Alan mentions it, like the safety of the staff and everything, but I haven't seen any of that. I don't doubt that it exists, because that shit always happens with internet drama. But from everything I've seen, the community's been like really understanding of like staff positions and players. But maybe I've just not seen it. But yeah, I think that should always go without saying. I'm staying because I need a job and love my coworkers. Well, yeah, of course, man. Yeah. Oh. Are you glad you started the esports moist before this shit? I'm glad I started in general, yeah. I mean, this has no effect on that. It's bad for the whole scene, but it has nothing to do with, like, esports orgs. DC One Punch Man will be animated by Mappa. That was fake. We looked that up earlier today. That leak was fake. Unless, of course, that's just a red herring. But when we looked it up, it was fake. Car Chase on ABC. I can't watch car chases live. Potential TOS with people getting hurt. Everyone else does it. Yeah, and Hassan just got banned for doing what everyone else did with watching a Ye interview, so I'm not taking any chances. I love police chases, but I'm not watching one live. I'll watch a police chase after the fact. Exhibit's vegan. No, what the fuck is a reverse high beam? Like the tail lights have high beams? That's so obnoxious. Oh, thanks for the 10 gift subs, champ. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that. Thanks for the resub, Ian. It's the same commentator from the last chase too. Oh my god, that's so fucking hype. Holy shit. I have a theory. We're getting so many police chases in such a short amount of time. I think that last one that went viral with the Grand Theft Auto stealing cars and going crazy, I think they saw the ratings and the response from that, and now, what was that, the SoCal Police Department? I think it was SoCal. Now they're just getting people hopped up, like, you know, they're leaving car doors open, maybe with the keys in the ignition, kind of enticing them as they have the chopper around the area, just waiting. Just fucking waiting. Just keep farming content out of it. Thanks the Prime, Chloe. Isn't that just called a bait car? Oh, true, yeah, I guess they used to have that bait car shit. Yeah, but they'd have the bait car and the cops nearby ready to, like, arrest them. I'm saying they're doing bait cars with a chopper ahead to film them. And then maybe they'll call the police, like, all right, hey, he took it, go, go, go. But don't chase him too much. We want this to last. He's a Prime 40 and AJ. And the Prime Ducket. You ever gotten into someone else's car on accident? No, man, I can't say I have. Thanks for the gift sub, Gecko. Did you see the police chase last night where the guy drove into the Angels Stadium? What? Was that the 3-hour chase? Ooh, thank you for the 10 gift subs, Morgoth. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. And the resub waffle. No, this is just a solo guy. Oh, never mind. This is the one with the clown car with like 6 people coming out. When did he drive into Angel Stadium?
Into the stadium. Going into the stadium, bottoming out as he makes his way through the ticket booths at Angel Stadium.
Okay, what the fuck? I didn't know it was like that.
To the stadium. Going into the stadium, bottoming out as he makes his way through the ticket booths at Angel Stadium. Check this guy out.
Yeah, this is the same guy.
Now very dark in that parking lot Fortunately, he's got his headlights on, but you saw he bottomed out there, sparks flying as he fled through the ticket booth, and he is now well into the parking lot, about to go around Angel Stadium. Coming around home
Why,
plate, here he
though?
comes. Continuing south.
What was the
to parking
plan?
lot. And what are we going to do here? Some donuts in the parking lot?
Thanks, resub Tiger Bay.
This just got mighty strange.
Mighty strange indeed.
Visiting all of Southern California's landmark attractions this evening as he now does circles in the parking lot of Angel Stadium, looking for an exit, and that appears to be what he may have found.
How the fuck? That was like the perfect opportunity just to spike trap the exit. They could have ended it right there. Big House tweeted. Oh, Big House TO tweeted. Okay, so this is the first TO that had a positive experience so far working. Well, he doesn't name Alan. He's saying with Panda. Okay. Weird, because that chase was muted on YouTube. Was it really? That's a shame. If a TO tweeted, can confirm Alan is a dick. One of them did. Genesis TO Bobak, his literal first statement is, Alan is a snake. Every time he talked, all I heard was the snake talk from Harry Potter. Like, he literally did just that. And he was completely unassociated with everything that's unfolded. He's the TO for Genesis. This is the first, like, positive... Well, it's not positive for Alan. It's positive with Panda. And so far, it's all been Alan, not Panda. This would have... If he had a good experience with Alan, he should have said Alan instead of Panda. Because no one's really questioning Panda support. It seems like they had a really good set of people, like a good team. It was just Alan that everyone had a problem with. Yeah, I know, Ray. Alan is divesting his shares. So he's not going to have any say or any control over Panda going forward. Yeah. They made that clear. Well, he made that clear. Which is definitely the right call if Panda's to have a future in the scene. Because earning that trust back from the community is going to be a real uphill battle. Thanks to the bits, Polar. Did Alan quit the FGC in general? It seems that way, yeah. But he also started by saying, like, he doesn't care or whatever. I don't know, it was a pretty aggressive opening, or somewhere. LAPD just gave up the car chase just now. The guy won against the cops. You can watch it now. I'm going to tune in for just 1 second. If I see anything sketchy, I'm immediately backing out. You said it's ABC 7? Fuck. Alright, fine. Oh, it's the boy wonder. The police chase commentating expert is back.
Valley left before he ends up in the New Hall Pass. And so I suspect
How did he escape?
Gradually, but in this case, really capable of much. But he is certainly pushing it here and now, almost coming close with that cross traffic there. He's on a
Jesus, this has already been going for 30 minutes.
That does not have a name, but he is just about a block south or half block south of DeSoto Avenue. To give you an idea of where we are, you can see the helicopter.
I feel like with all these police chases in SoCal, I know the area better than my own city. Gone on such a fucking tour of it through these.
Street, I believe, another narrow Strathern Street, another narrow residential neighborhood. It'll put him back on DeSoto Avenue, and those units.
Okay, now let's go live.
What you call an infraction or a misdemeanor that occurred in LAPD's territory. Would CHP get involved in this if no LAPD units are pursuing?
CHP will certainly be notified. They'll be given the option, and then they will decide based on their resources whether they want to give it a shot. What's so interesting about this is that if he continues, look at him, he's signaling to get off of the 5 freeway.
Well, that's nice of him to use his turn signal.
But the funny part about that is that if he would have continued northbound on the 5 freeway, that would have taken him into the Santa Clarita Valley, out of LAPD's jurisdiction, and even the helicopter probably would have turned around.
What?
He probably would have, he probably would be done. But he is now off the freeway in the San Fernando.
Is that how that works? They have like an aggro range, like it's World of Warcraft?
LAPD's jurisdiction, giving that
Actually, World of Warcraft I don't think has aggro range. Like City of Heroes?
So it's interesting when you think about it, but if he would have stayed on the freeway, he probably would have gotten away, left LAPD's jurisdiction, and taken himself into Santa Clarita Valley. But instead, he's now off the freeway, back into LAPD's.
So what happens then?
Right where this all.
Let's say he didn't suck a fat ass there and went straight, and everyone turns around. Do they arrest him in the next county?
He has stopped.
Like just forward his information to them and they arrest him there?
Which we, I guess, should maybe congratulate him for.
Yeah, they put out an APB? Okay.
It looks like it's red in the other direction. I can't tell.
Looks like it's red. He's at a red.
Okay.
There's a green light allowing that.
He's obeying traffic laws?
Southbound 405. He's in the right lane on the northernmost lane of Roxford Street.
Yeah, this is live.
And we'll see he basically is fixing.
I'll watch the conclusion to this. It seems like a polite chase. He's just waiting in a red light.
He could either go
He's in no rush.
north on Sepulveda, or he could pull in front of all of those 2 white cars and end up back on the freeway. But I don't think he's going to do that. He looks like he's on the path towards Sepulveda. There's no right turn he can make here. He's just waiting for the light to turn, and we'll see what he does here. Crawling through the intersection and going with those traffic.
Oh, he's listening to the broadcast. He's listening to the broadcast. He heard the secret. He heard the cheat code of going back up here and getting to the next county. He heard. He's listening.
He is now entering their jurisdiction. So CHP is going to have some fun with this.
Oh, no, wait. I misunderstood. He's going the wrong way.
What this guy is up to.
I thought this was going all the way around.
They've got a couple of patrol cars ready to engage if the go-ahead is given, and they have a wide open, empty freeway to either put this into a pursuit mode once again, or just track his movements and follow him to his final destination. So not what you would have thought, and in fact I'm a little bit surprised that CHP took the bait, but
took the bait? What do you mean?
Resources, and
it's fucking 3 a.m. They just want to drive fast for a little bit. I get it.
Southbound,
they're like, fuck it, boys, let's punch it.
Southbound 405, Mark.
All right. Well, you know what? When they know about a crime, they have a duty to investigate, and that is what's at play here. And you never know.
If they pit maneuver this guy, I'm gonna have to back out immediately because this is a high-speed pit maneuver, a huge chance for injury. Can't stream that.
To cover up a felony. as an attempt to evade detection on something that this person has done that would be much, much, much more serious. We don't know.
That's exactly.
Neither do
Ooh,
the-
Oh!
look at that. Was that? Yeah.
Okay,
Did
he just got
okay,
off.
so he got off. The 2 continued, but he still has. That's
He's
still a
got
black
one
and white.
Yeah, he's got one straggler on him
CHP
still.
unit right behind him as he gets off.
I love how impressed the commentator gets.
And that's interesting. That's really interesting. Well, you're so right, Mark. You know, it could be a very minor crime, or it could be a very, very serious crime. We just don't know, and so that's reason enough to follow this through, especially considering that they have the available resources to do so. So here you have.
They're not doing anything else right now. It's late.
If we widen that a little bit, is there anybody else, Rob, behind him? Just the one. So that's interesting. Just the one black and white.
Former
behind him.
esports caster.
The
Yeah.
LAPD airship overhead, now westbound on Rinaldi.
Right, and we should point out the CHP unit is not in pursuit mode here. You don't see any red lights. You don't see or any
Good point.
indication that he has lit up this car. He's just following behind him, and right now he's on surface streets, which is not
God, I have to
his,
pee so bad. Can you stop at a red light again real quick so I have a minute?
Operation.
Call a timeout.
So if
My
he does,
hunch,
go ahead.
so here's what we're looking at here. If he continues driving within the speed limit, within the parameters of the law, and stops going through these red lights, without any backup, it is less likely that that CHP unit will engage in a pursuit by himself.
They just watch him.
However, if he starts to blow through these red lights unnecessarily, that will change the equation. So,
Fuck, I have to pee.
primary unit right there has not seen him break any laws that we know of just yet. At least for the last several minutes, he's been somewhat behaved ever since he got onto the 405.
Yeah, is this even a police chase? It just looks like a random guy now. He hasn't done anything illegal that we've seen yet.
And he's actually
He's
going
fucking
relatively
driving.
slow, whether that's because he sees that CHP unit behind him
Oh!
or he's just more composed.
Holy fuck, thank you for the 100 gift subs, champ. Holy Jesus Christ.
And if that continues,
Thank you, champ.
I would
Oh my
venture to say
god.
that CHP unit will likely
Thank you so much, man.
let him go. But, you know, it's anybody's guess because one wrong move and all of a sudden, is there more pulling in?
What do you mean let him go? Like he's just, like
No,
he
he let him
wins?
go. Yeah,
Like
he
he's
let
not...
him go. He
So what
followed
happens
the
now?
freeway. Again, those CHP
He just
units
goes
are
home and it's all
primarily
good?
Responsible for state roads
Goes to the paint
and
shop?
interstate highways, and so he's going to head back towards the freeway. The airship is still overhead, and a different unit is now a ways back. Is that we don't know if it's CHP.
What
or-
is the protocol? I don't
It's the same
understand.
guy.
I have to
Okay,
pee.
so that CHP
I have to
unit-
pee.
that
I'll
CHP
be
unit
right back.
way
I've got to
but
fucking
still
pee.
continuing
Christ.
in his direction, but you
Oh,
see
but I don't want to miss
that
anything.
truck
But I gotta pee. I gotta pee. I'm sorry. I've got to fucking
3
pee.
blocks ahead of him. LAPD still overhead, and now the driver really just cruising down Rinaldi Street.
All right, so our coverage will end here. It appears the law enforcement has lost interest in this pursuit, and it is no longer a threat to the public, it would appear, because he has slowed down. Our coverage will end now. We thank you very much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow night on ABC 7. Good night.
Alright, I'm back. Wait, what? What just happened? Did he deploy an EMP? What's going on? There's a tier 1 gymnastics, tier 1 Booker in the prime Dabby and Gray. They lost interest, they gave up, he just won. What? Oh wait, this is the wrong thing.
pursuit, and it is no longer a threat to the public, it would appear, because he has slowed down. Our coverage will end now. We thank you very much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow night on ABC 7. Good night.
Wait, so is the crime forgiven? Because it was a pursuit. I don't know what he was originally being stopped for, but he evaded authorities. He ran from the police. Is it all good? Like he wins?
That's exactly right. And at least at one point, they were willing to...
No, they just arrest him later. Okay. Imagine if that was a rule, like, if you outrun us for 45 minutes, we forgive your crime. You lose your stars.
Once that helicopter, you heard that helicopter overhead and continued the pursuit regardless, and then the pursuit was back on. So now you wonder, well, maybe they'll try it again, maybe give him a little more space and have...
What if it's not his car? True.
Mostly on Satakoy. Now we're going in the opposite direction, eastbound on Satakoy, doing just about the speed limit. And all of those turns that we just saw in the last couple of minutes, weaving through...
That's crazy. Wait, that is actually nuts. I don't think I've ever seen that. Then again, I'm new to the police chase scene. Can't say I'm overly familiar with police chase protocol. I'm very new to this genre. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if they just plan on arresting him later, like they deem he's not a threat anymore due to the obeying road rules, like, if they plan to get him later, that assumes that he's in his own car. That could be a stolen car. It could be fake plates. That seems like an interesting protocol. Thanks for the resub, EMG. We saw his face on the news. I guess, true, yeah. What was he being pursued for? I don't know. I didn't catch it, like, right when it started. We caught it live, like, 30, 40 minutes into it. So, yeah, I don't know. Watch the police chase from yesterday. Bro, that was a 3-hour chase. But yeah, I know it ended with like 8 people coming out of this thing like a clown car. I saw this.
5 people in all involved in a dangerous chase that wound through 3 counties, ending just minutes ago.
I didn't know they went through Angel Stadium though. That was kind of cool.
Is he losing control?
A pickup out of control with 5 suspects on the run. The 3-county pursuit beginning in Ventura County with a hit and run. Deputies trying to pull the driver over and the chase was on. The CHP taking over as they entered LA County. The truck weaving in and out of traffic, all without his lights on, at times hitting 100 miles per hour. The truck full of...
What tactical benefit does they even get from not turning his lights on?
Flying as the pickup races into the parking lot.
Yeah, this is the part I just saw.
Then round and round they go. The suspect driving in circles with police trailing behind. The circus continuing out onto the surface streets. The 5 in the pickup continuing.
That one was a felony hit and run, so they weren't going to stop chasing. Makes sense.
Bumping a car along the way. Back in LA County, they exited the 5 freeway, hitting the guardrail before calling it quits. Surrounded by police with their guns drawn, the suspects giving up. Their hands in the air. One after the other, they climb out of the truck. 5 suspects inside, all now in custody.
All look very drunk too. Nice. Thanks to the resub King and Ardent and Infernion. I know 2 of the people in that chase. No shot, you know 2 of the people in that chase. I don't believe you. Thanks, you said Beastie. That'd be crazy if you did, though. Imagine. Thanks, the Prime Mech. Thanks, the resub Avery. I want to point something out real quick. Someone just tweeted this at me, and I really want to bring it up on stream. I couldn't decide if I should or not, because it's rather vain. No one ever gives me credit for how goddamn accurate I am in predicting things. Check this out. I even forgot I did this. Do I think there'll be an apology video? No. I don't know Alan super well. My guess, though, based on this behavior, he's going to come out with something like the truth, or it's time you know what really happened. And then Alan's statement, the truth. Like, no one ever gives me the credit I deserve for predicting shit. It's almost as if everyone does that. Nope, only I could see through the Matrix. Only I could guess it. I guessed it 10 years ago, though. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you might have beat me to it. Thanks the resub Joe, Corpse, and the Prime Amber, and Epic, and the resub Avery. Alright, I think I'm gonna go to bed now after that live Police Chase we got to check out. Alright, everyone, thanks for tuning in. All the new subs, welcome aboard. Sub means a lot. Thanks for subbing. We'll pick up more Warhammer Darktide pretty soon. It was pretty fun so far, so I'll definitely play more. Have a great night, everyone, and thanks again. I will see you tomorrow. Ooh, Jesus Christ, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Ape shit, thank you for the generosity. Have a great night, and thanks again.